translating that into a team victory.
That's such a good point to make, Maui. That's actually what I think when it comes to it. It's like, okay, he's putting in all that hard work, and you can see that reflected in his own personal game. He's top rated on his team, the in-game leader. You're kind of thinking there like, you've got config on your team and you're top rated? Like, how does that work, right? You know, I think that's a really good point to make, because it feels like him and Kita right now, the struggle that they're facing is getting that information over to the team so that the team can perform well as a group. Because really, you look at the talent on complexity, they should be world beaters. They should be up there at the top. But when I'm writing my power ranking for the tournament, I'm putting them somewhere in the middle to low middle right now, and that's actually really painful. So hopefully we can see him kind of work on those communication skills.
Yeah, and you brought up a name earlier as well in Apex, and we've got to talk about him in terms of his trajectory in his career, really, because he didn't start off as an in-game leader. He was an entry fragger, really, in terms of the French scene.
He's done it all.
Yeah.
He's been around forever. It's amazing. You know, the fact that he was able to completely shift his career around when it started to look a little grim on the entry fragging front. He just said, okay, I'm going to be taking over this IGL role now because nobody else seems to want to do it. I mean, when Existence retired, that left such a huge gap. You know, it was Existence and Happy for the longest time. Happy faded away. He's now in Valorant or something like that. And, you know, Existence, actually both of them.
I think he is too.
Yeah. They both are, yeah. Well, good for them. I mean, come on. But, you know, as far as the performance in CSGO, you know, it was like, okay, who's going to fill the IGL role? Shoxy had his tries, didn't work. NBK always thinks he wants to be the IGL. That didn't work, and so Apex decided, I'm going to step up and fill that role, and that's a huge amount of pressure to take, especially when you're used to being the entry fragger and you're used to kind of just running in and creating space. Now it's like, okay, I have to know the reason why we're creating space. Like, I have to know everything that's going on, and that's a very tall task that not many people are going to be capable of, so I have to give credit to Apex.
I like that you bring it up, because generally the player that would become the in-game leader, if you had to pick anybody on the team, would be the support player, the guy that's looking at the radar a lot of the time.
Exactly.
So to actually transition from the entry fragger to the in-game leader, it's probably one of the most difficult transitions flat out that you could even imagine.
Yeah, huge testament to Apex as well, coming into this as well and taking on that role. And something else we've got to talk about is FPX, and not necessarily focusing on Emmy as an in-game leader. It's more the kind of discovery of an in-game leader for the side of FPX, as we saw them wanting to get Chris J back into the mix, obviously Crystal earlier on as well. So how have you kind of seen Emmy integrating into this team?
Well, I think the thing about Emmy right now with FPX is that they're still using, in my opinion, and what I've seen so far, some of the systems that they had before. I think they're kind of changing their map pool just a little bit, whereas before they really liked Vertigo and Nuke, now they're really leaning on this Inferno a lot, and I think that probably is by Emmy's design just a little bit, probably the comfort that he had prior to joining this roster. And Emmy, to his credit, actually has done pretty decently as a coach / IGL. When he was the coach of Crazy, they actually made it to the second stage of the Berlin Major, so that was an impressive run for him. That being said, I haven't really seen Emmy deliver on a level to elevate FPX. I feel like they've kind of stagnated, and it's kind of stayed at what we've seen FPX for the past year.
Oh, I mean, there's so much to go on with FPX. FPX are a fantastic team because it feels like they didn't really... Going through all this chaos of trying to find the IGL, they still had to play officials. They were still out there competing, and they were still out there winning. And so it makes you wonder, okay, how does this function? It's actually because you have very intelligent players on that team. They kind of all chime in, and so they have a really interesting system where Stico's in there weighing in. Zen actually takes on a lot of the mid-round, funnily enough. I mean, he's like the quiet killer because you don't really get much attention. You know, Zen, nobody's really talking about Zen, but he's out there just slowly getting used to those big kills and also really contributing in the mid-round, which is so important right now in the meta of CSGO. Like, your mid-round is everything almost now. So if you've got a guy like Zen who's going to back you up and usually be right with the calls, that's obviously going to help a lot. And that's going to make Emmy's life, you know, as this new IGL trying to figure it out, right? It's going to make his life a whole lot easier if he's got these guys that he can fall back on, kind of like decentralized command, just like, okay, hold on, I can trust Stico to hit. Excuse me, I can trust Seiko to handle this bomb site, or Zen, he can take care of this for me. You know, if you can trust in your guys to handle those kinds of roles, that's actually going to really free Emmy up. So I hope to see, you know, Emmy really just step up more and more and really come into that IGL role.
Well, we won't have to wait too much longer to see FPX gracing the server here today at Flashpoint 3. They'll be taking on Vitality very shortly to try and keep a hold of their tournament life. We're going to head to a quick break. When we're back, we're going to be delving into game number 1.
Coming up after the break.
Vitality
versus
FPX.
FPX.
They may be one day late to the celebration of the Bees, but Vitality are about to brew up a storm here at Flashpoint 3. They arrive with a sting in their tail after narrowly avoiding elimination at the hands of OG. And of course, they'll be taking on the Rising Phoenix, also looking for a rebound of their own after losing out to a new look NIP just yesterday. Of course, Maui and Semler join me up here on the desk to be dissecting all the action. Really?
No way.
Yeah,
No way.
that was my apartment building right there.
Well, maybe we should rewind
Think
a little bit.
about me, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I used
yeah.
to literally live right next to Globin, so when the major got announced, I was like, sweet. Oh wait, I live on the other side of town now.
Oh.
But once upon a time, it had been a 5-minute walk.
Well, Stockholm will be a bit of a theme today, and I think we need to take two of these teams and compare them a little bit when we're coming into this matchup. Of course, you guys were siding with FPX yesterday versus NIP, so maybe a little bit of disappointment from what we saw of them yesterday.
Yeah, FPX really had a tough time against NIP for a multitude of reasons. I would say that the biggest problem I saw with the FPX roster was that it was just like they were kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out in a lot of the engagements against NIP, and I really hate to see that. I want you to just build, dig your grave and just sit in it. If that's how you want to die, that's how you die, but don't have one player jump in and one player kind of out of it.
Yeah, I mean, a team that didn't die are the team on our screens right now, Vitality. It looked like they might be having dying an early death when they fell to Double Pony earlier on in the competition. I think that was one of the biggest upsets that we've seen. But rebounding versus OG to be knocking them out of the competition.
Well, the thing is right now, Freya, if we're going to follow along with the B play here, is that they stung OG. So what happens with Bs when they sting you?
Oh, they do
Yeah,
die.
They do die. And so that is why FPX are going to win today.
Oh,
There
you
you
heard
go.
it here first from Semler. Spoiling the predictions already.
They're dying. They're just limping along. Please, I don't understand. I did my job.
In my misery.
That FPX are just gonna come in there and smush.
Well, maybe we should talk a little bit about why Vitality aren't going to be dying in this one, Maui. I know a little bit of spoiler for our predictions. We are be siding with the Frenchman. But why are we siding with them coming into this matchup? What did you see in their rebound versus OG that kind of gave you hope for the French side?
They looked like a much better team the second time around. Against Double Pony, you could see that there was a couple of inexperienced moments from them, and that's not something you would normally say with players like ZywOo, Apex, and Shox in the server, but it felt like Masuda and Kyojin were absolutely targeted in that opening match versus Double Pony. So this time around, it feels like, or the second match that is, against OG, it felt like Vitality, the coaching staff, Apex, everybody got together and said, hey, Masuda and Kyojin, let's work on your positions, let's get you guys comfortable, and they looked a lot better.
They're definitely coming along now. I mean, the thing is, I was kind of taking a look in terms of individual performance from ZywOo as well. He had that dip recently in the last month and a half where you could tell during all the team struggles, everything that was going wrong. If ZywOo actually starts to underperform and have his career worst performances, things are direly wrong. That's not the case here in this tournament. This tournament, he's right back up into shape. And funnily enough, it's like you have other teams where the rating kind of, balances out. It's like a real peak where everybody is sub 1.0 on Vitality, and then you've got 1.3 for ZywOo. It's like he just takes all the oxygen out of the room into himself, and he's just like, gets stronger. So ZywOo is firing on all cylinders, and I think that's going to be the main issue for FPX is dealing with ZywOo, because we saw ZywOo just come up with some big plays against OG, and they didn't really have an answer.
Yeah, I do want to get your take on Kyojin as well, seeing him integrating into the team as one of the newer members. How have you kind of seen it so far for Vitality working?
But I kind of steal my point actually from Maui on this one, I think, because weren't we talking about it where it's like how OG, how Alexi B uses flames,
Yes.
throw the flashes in, let flames go in. I think that's exactly what they need to be doing, and I think that's kind of what we're starting to see from Vitality as well, where it's like Apex comes up, throws the flashes in, and he's like, Kyojin, go shoot, instead, and he actually kind of hesitates for a second because he's so used to saying ZywOo, go shoot, but he says Kyojin, go shoot now, and you can see that extra half second sometimes actually costs him that moment's hesitation, because then maybe Kyojin dies. No, but in all seriousness, now it does seem like they're probably giving a little bit more support to Kyojin rather than just having him as like that hard support that everybody was like, oh, he just needs to be a hard support. It's like, no. Have you seen this guy's aim?
Right.
He has nutty aim. Put a flash behind him and let it go around the corner and let him shoot people in the face. That's what he does. That's what he's going to be really good at. And I feel like they're starting to go towards that direction.
Yeah, and I think once again, Apex has to reinvent himself just a little bit, because normally it's him that's the entry fragger, and now he has to support a new entry fragger. And even though I think the CT spots haven't changed too much for Apex, I think that this is a role that, once again, it's kind of like Apex keeps getting the worst side of these things in terms of he has to always, adapt to his team, but that's what a great leader does. And right now, I mean, with how they performed against OG, I'm pretty high on Vitality, because it feels like like Apex, he's always buying into whatever the team needs him to do most. And that's essential if you want to actually make a deep run at Flashpoint 3.
And flipping on over to the team we're going to see on the other side of the server, it is, of course, FPX. And it might be a bit of a surprise for you guys, to say the least, to see them in this position. You were siding with them yesterday against NIP, and it wasn't like they necessarily looked terrible as a team. There were some moments on Inferno where they did look pretty solid. But
they definitely looked terrible, though, Freya.
Do you
like, FPX should have won. They lost that game. NIP didn't win.
Yeah.
They lost. FPX lost that series. And that's by, I mean that by donating 10 rounds per map to NIP by using the pistol.
That is a good point.
Playing poor anti-ecos, not converting rounds, not even get, like, with how often teams are upsetting, you know, like, oh, we lose the pistol, but we come right back in the second with the deagle buy. They weren't even able to get that going once in that series. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, hey, if you don't donate 8 to 10 rounds on the map, you know, because it gets competitive after that, right? They lose the 5 rounds, first big buy round comes up, you know, like where they really have everything, and then they start winning. And it's like, huh, okay, if we could have done this earlier, guys, you know, we're winning Mirage. Maybe we're finally breaking that streak on Mirage, and we get a W next to it, right? So I think, you know, as far as NIP are concerned, I'm a big NIP fan. I think they've got a lot going for them, but I think FPX should have been winning it yesterday, and it felt more like FPX lost it than NIP won it.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that sentiment. I think that Launders and I, when we were in the green room, were kind of like, oh, some of these rounds that FPX are losing just don't feel like you should lose them.
Yeah.
And we were seeing it in that point of view as opposed to, whoa, NIP did something crazy there that was super proactive, super just well thought out. It was more like FPX had these slip-ups, and that really cost them there, just kind of like you were saying.
I think somebody that you highlighted coming into it as well was Marden, somebody to be keeping an eye on, and he did look, you know, look pretty solid, during that game. So it's a shame to see them losing out in that.
Mirage, all of the head stats are Madden, most kills, most entries, just like bam, 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 bam. The guy went crazy, but that was after giving up 8 rounds in a row to NIP at the beginning. So your whole first half is already in the tube, and it's like, oh wait, now we're playing. And then so Madden, you basically just chuck him with an ankle, like with like an anchor around his neck, and he's got to like first get rid of the anchor before he can start swimming back to the surface, right? And then it's too late.
Well, we've got to have a conversation about our vetoes coming into this one. So I'm going to throw it over to you guys in terms of what your expectations are for what the picks are going to be for each side.
Well, the first thing is Vitality always veto train. That should just get out of the way immediately. And FPX, they've been banning Overpass and Dust 2. I feel like they should lean towards a Dust 2 pan, but they actually go with Overpass, which means Vitality, they should just go all
get their Dust 2.
All in on D2.
So they should get their D2.
Yeah.
Yep. So Vitality get Dust 2, strongest map for him. Zywoo gets to go kill, fantastic times. I think FPX go Inferno again. There's no reason to think they can't. Now they're going to be able to tweak. Yep, they get Inferno. So they're just going to be able to tweak a few things. That's all they need to do. Yeah. Just, hey, we win a pistol, guys. If we win a pistol or convert, you know, like, hey, life is good. So that's all they need to be focusing on right now is just reproducing the game yesterday and making a few adjustments. I think that also Vitality's Inferno, not that good right now. So that actually looks good for FPX.
It's been a map that, one, Shox didn't even play for a stretch of time because Navera was subbing in for him. And two, it's a map that when they were subbing in Navera, Zywoo didn't even really op on the map. So this is a really, I mean, it's a tough map for Vitality. And even though on paper it looks like, you know, Vitality, given the pedigree, the experience that they have on the map, they are surprisingly shaky on it.
And then, I mean, FPX actually get the pick between. I thought that they would go Mirage, to be fair, but the backup was Vertigo, and then they get to choose which one they want. Actually, that's pretty solid because Vertigo is actually a pretty highly rated map for FPX. They've got some good scalps on it, so. That's actually, this is still, man, I feel exactly the same way as I do yesterday, though, where I saw the veto and I'm like, ooh, FPS.
Well, we do need to get into our unicorn odds as it's we're going to be getting into our game very, very shortly. It is going to be siding with the side of Vitality, but some decent odds if you're betting on FPX. And I believe, Senna, you have gone with that for our predictions.
I did. I'm doubling down. You know, I put 750 on him yesterday. I'm going in again. Let's go.
Launders,
FPX have got
James,
this.
Are you agreeing with Semler here?
No.
That's it.
Because Vitality looks so much better the second game. If it was after the first, you know, that nuke match, Kyojin and Masuda taking turns dying upstairs on nuke, after that, I would never pick them. But
guys, look at me, please, on a desk.
Oh, creep.
James, we have got to jump into this one at some point.
I picked
very shortly.
FunPlus Phoenix. Do you know what? I think that today's matches are really hard to pick. I think the form. I think FPX could be. Well, I'll get into it more when the match starts. But I picked them. I've got a lot to say, Freya, as per usual. So I went FunPlus.
Yeah. Save your words, Mal. We need a few words from you.
Okay. I'm going with Vitality. I have one stat that I just have to say it. Okay.
That's not 3 words.
Okay. The stat is this: that last year Vitality or Zywoo went negative in 51 games for Vitality. They only won 7 of those games. 2 of them were against Godsent. which was FPX at the time.
Former FPX,
So they're going to win, no, even if Zywoo doesn't play well.
Well, even without knowing that, I'm also going to be siding with Vitality. I believe I did put 600 on here, being a little bit of a fan of the French side. But I think it is time that we get into map number 1. So, guys, take it away with Dust 2.
Thank you very much. Well, so I thought this series was very difficult to choose.
It was.
Vitality obviously coming into this one with not the best of form. FunPlus Phoenix, I think, are don't have as much name value as the likes of Vitality at the moment. So that is something to consider.
Yeah.
I think they're easily overlooked in this particular matchup. While it wasn't a perfect series for them yesterday, I think they did show some strength. I think maybe if you look at Emmy on Banana, just how many entry frags he got, I think you can't expect him to be that successful all the time. So I really didn't know who to pick in this one. I kind of lean towards FunPlus Phoenix, but on another day maybe I would have picked Vitality. So this is a chance for all the plebs to catch up to me on the leaderboard.
That's true. You have been speaking the truth every day, whether we like it or not. So maybe you're onto something. I just saw too many mistakes from FunPlus Phoenix yesterday. I picked them in good faith, but then I felt like they, as someone mentioned, kind of beat themselves. So I'm just not sure if they believe, like, how much they believe right now.
Again, it's a classic strat that we see. We'll get into that one later. Zen and Stiko remain. The bomb is still in the hands of FunPlus Phoenix. You can see Zen looking to catch a rotation with his Glock. Stiko will hop over with the P250 while Zen holds the angle, waiting for a flank. You can see Stiko making lots of sound cues. He's got a 1v1, needs to win that duel. Against Shocks over the pistol.
Ooh.
Well, that is quite the frag from Stiko. P250 certainly helping. And Zen is still waiting by those double doors. Where does he put the smoke grenade? Trying to give himself some space. Makes things awkward for the CTs. Trying to make them wait for that smoke, and Zen is here. Got to be real careful though with the Glock. Stiko will clean up the rest of them. A 4K from Stiko in the pistol.
Doesn't he look like Shocks with the way he was dueling there on Cats?
Right.
I feel like that was a Shocks level play there, and the 3K. I mean, okay, yesterday, two things that I thought were really nice about FPX were I felt like Stiko made very few mistakes, and also Madden made very few mistakes and had so many great rounds to look back on. So those are two players I'm looking forward to. But yeah, it's an interesting point about the name brand value that FPX. I mean, I don't know how this sounds to them when I say this a lot, but it feels like they don't have as much talent as some of the other top teams. Like we look at Vitality and the impact that you can have just from Zywoo, or even like the potential ceiling of someone like Kyojin. I'm not sure if I see that same level on FPX, and I wonder if that holds them back at all.
Yeah, they're grinders. So going back to that pistol round, the first time I saw that pistol round was from FaZe Clan. Olaf Meister era FaZe Clan. I think it was Olaf who was bunny hopping backwards to avoid the headshot, but you can't avoid Zywoo on Dust 2. That much is for sure. A strong pick for Vitality, and it's given his team an advantage. Zen down to 29 HP as well. This one does not look good at all. They can still clean things around, but they've really got to deliver here. However, too many man on road, and things go from bad to worse. Rifle collected from Masuta now. Still 2 smoke grenades to deploy for FunPlus Phoenix, and Masuta's making no assumptions. He's holding top mid for a rotation, while FPX make their way towards the A bomb site. Shocks is in the red. There is still some time. That's a nice kill. Farley holding the good angles. He has a flashbang as well to allow Zen to swing, which is going to be deployed behind him as Zen emerges. He can throw a molly towards short, so they can retake control of this.
Yeah, I think they've gotten to a good spot now, but the bomb hasn't actually made it to the site.
Oh.
This kill could make the difference. Farley with a quick up flick. And now suddenly Masuda in the 1v2, but he gets the first frag and the second as well. My goodness.
There it is. The second round's in the bag. Well, very nice start from Zywoo, and a solid finish for Vitality, who've come out with their own brand of honey. Right now, I see Vitality out here sending people hoodies and shoes and stuff. Got to know.
James is basically naked.
If it comes to watches, yeah, I'm the king of watches in esports. If it comes to boats.
King of boats?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
There's people who own boats, but
I thought you were going to be like...
There's a lot of things where I'm that guy, right? Honey.
Yeah. Sextons.
I am absolutely sextants. Honey, I'm the undisputed overlord of honey in esports. I get the finest honey and
You're like that guy in
distribute it to those who are worthy. Maybe one day you will be.
You're like the guy who flips to like the 700th page of the Guinness Book of World Records to look for the category with the least competition.
I'm out there in the farms in France. I'm meeting the beekeepers. I'm getting that mountain honey, that high altitude flower honey.
Go to Honey Family one day.
I want to try this Vitality honey. Where's my care package? Look after Bardolph.
Oh, this one should be sweet. What a great flash. Zaiwu says, the hell with it. I'm going to stay here and fight longer. To the point that now the A site can be crushed. We've got a long split coming up here. But this HE should do some work.
Absolutely will. Farley left with 22 HP. Got to be real careful about that bomb falling over. Do you remember the update where when a player carrying the bomb was killed, the bomb would fall forward, like bounce?
It should go in the direction that you're facing, or running, sorry. It always goes forward.
Yeah, it goes the way you're facing. Yeah, it's rudimentary.
That ain't physics.
There's a chance for FunPlus Phoenix here. A little worse now that Stico doesn't quite have the angle. The MP9, the range rather. And perhaps the angle as well. We can see them trying to base the peak. Oh, there's a nice 1D, but an instant trade from Masuta. Great choice of the M9 fade as well.
You know, that's the moment where, okay, if the spacing is bad, the shot is so nice that he might be able to get away if their spacing was any worse there for Vitality, but it was very crisp with the double peek. As soon as Stico got the info on the bomb, they were there ready to both peek him at the same time.
Oh, Farley with these headshots with the scout.
Dude, yesterday he was missing so many easy shots, but you know Farley can be like world class sometimes. Some games.
Yeah. That's the good thing about like deathmatch is prior to your matches, if you start with a bit derpy at the beginning of the day, get the derp out on the deathmatch servers, and then come into the game sharp as he looks to have done. 6-4-3 is Farley at present.
It's always fun to see how teams and players get better as a tournament goes on. Like everyone looks a lot more comfortable. And I think that's mostly good for Vitality because the expectations are obviously going to be a bit higher for them. And it was about time Kyojin started putting up stronger maps. I think the last time they played Dust 2, he really saved the game.
Swing from Zaiwu. And manages to escape untouched as well. I love the patience from Farley there, even though he lost the duel, because he's really looking for those headshots. FPX getting drilled on another force buy. Two-man spray down from Zen, keeps it with a shot. He's the bomb carrier. You can see Stico looking for a push in the smoke again. FPX trying to play against the information they're offering their opponent.
This is interesting. They should know the exact setup because of Zaiwu and Kyojin left alive. Kyojin, of course, hard anchoring here. And they spot the MP9. This is a weird situation because they call the rotation, from Kyojin out a little bit. And they haven't yet made a decision, but they should know there's only one B, and they should have known this already. I think they've given the CTs an advantage here by taking too long to choose. Zaiwu coming to get some information back.
Oh, well, he knows what the climate is as far as A is concerned.
This is smart from Masuda playing the side of Big Box. Oh, but he ends up dying.
Oh, the Galil curse! Gotta practice it in deathmatch. Smoke towards CT, could land just in time. Stico with a grenade, but Kyojin can't quite land that final shot. And into the site he goes. Pay attention, people at home. Stico's fallen back to the bomb site to play a 2 versus 1. Made it as hard as possible for Vitality to get the kill without being traded as opposed to standing there on his own.
I take it all back. What a great round. I thought that Masuda was on the, right in front of the tunnels, just protecting himself from anyone coming out a window, but he did die. I'm not sure if he peeked in the window and got headshotted there, but we had Zaiwu on the big flank as well coming back for Cat. I thought, okay, interesting spot for FPX to get a lot of info. It's 2v5. Look at that spray down out mid. But then they take too long to make a decision. At least I thought. Zaiwu comes back for Cat when it was really open for a while. But that just helps him get the kill early. Don't even have to get to a post plant. Oh, I see Masuda was on this side of Big Box. Towards middle without anybody there spotting.
Yeah, I guess the issue is that Kyojin was at car and he was looking long and in CT spawn, but he didn't look into CT spawn when...
I missed the timing.
Yeah, exactly. When they crossed. Again! Farley saying hello. The force buys continue, and this won't bode well for Vitality unless they can find a winning round once again. Great support there. Stiko racking up the kills now, 9 for 2. Emmy starting quiet. It was very explosive yesterday. But it will be eco territory for Vitality. Shox with a Desert Eagle. Oh, that one's not bad.
Yeah, what is that? I haven't seen that before.
Is that from the Snakebite case?
It must be new, right?
Trigger Discipline. I like that. It says Trigger Discipline on the side. Very, very good. Something we mentioned in our profession.
I think Zip will give Farley his gloves and knife. Number one, my suspicion is because he's Danish, and all Danish people know each other. And number two, he gave me the exact same gloves and knife as well.
He's a bit of a slut, Zipple. He's given. You've got my former AK and my former knife.
I'm keeping it too
from him.
I love that AK.
It's very nice.
It's my favorite one so far.
It is beautiful. It's the ones with the dolphins on. I call it the fish gun because it triggers people.
Wait, what dolphins?
They're not fish.
On the
aquamarine?
On the pattern? Oh, is there dolphins on that?
Oh,
I mean, I didn't.
God.
I'm just not very observant. I'm sorry.
Clearly not.
But I'm keeping the AK.
It's a meaty HE grenade. On this approach by the T's, one of the important things to take care of is the short plant position. You see those boxes, you can see the Molotov that was thrown by FunPlus Phoenix. You can have a lot of damage sent your way from one play there with a Deagle or something, so you've always got to pay attention to that, be it HE's bouncing off the wall or Molotovs.
I like the insinuation from the desk that this was almost a misplay in the veto because between Overpass and Dust 2. So it seems like FPX knew that Vitality picked Dust 2 if they left it open, but that would be a good choice for them because Vitality's strong on Dust 2. But FPX maybe came with a bit of a game plan. Oh, it's the guy in front.
How's that not a headshot?
Gotta give it to him.
Man.
Unlucky.
Sorry, you were saying?
Can't remember.
Oh boy, this is going to be a meaty one. Maiden's in a lot of trouble. Thank you for playing. 5-2, 2 AWPs continue for Vitality, 473 HP, and the road forward will be a difficult one. Made even worse by Zywoo. Yes, he's blind, but the timing is such that Stiko is dead. 5 versus 2.
Yeah. It's just not easy these days. Sometimes your flash can just push mouse 1 for them. If you didn't flash, they wouldn't have shot.
Well, this will be an expensive one for FPX. But again, I think at this point, the focus can start with some frags and maybe escalate to a potential clutch of a round. 2 versus 5. Quick look from Masuta and they'll reposition together. Shox is going to give Farley a nasty surprise. Nice to see Shox delivering as well. Man, we've always wanted more from in recent years.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy frags. It is nuts though that it always seemed to me that Shox, because he was the most complete player in France, he would be the best IGL as well if they needed it. But it ends up being Apex actually definitely the best IGL overall in terms of how good the team got, the results. And it seems like maybe there's the inference that there's some emotional stability with him, that he gets flies off the handle a bit too much or something like that. But this stuff we don't really know about. And from what we've seen, his results and the team have been very good. Oh my God, he didn't even fully see Farley. Just a bit of the shoulder pad, and he took a shot through the wall.
Family man, Shox. Currently 5 for 6 on the catch-up. 4 AWPs on the server.
It's like DMG matchmaking. Everyone just sitting in spawn buying guns, opping mid.
Zywoo waits. 1 minute 10 on the clock. Now he could look around the side of this smoke grenade. Doesn't want to go too deep though. Oh, saw a silhouette. Not sure how that doesn't connect, but he will deliver a kill to Maiden and then fall back towards the boxes. Has some safety now. That is a great incendiary from him. Compromises where FPX can stand, but he's unable to fall back. Apex now playing around the smoke grenades, then with multiple targets. Masuta will explode him. Emmy faking the plant. Stiko holding angles in the meantime. Down goes the planter. 40 seconds now for Stiko. 14 HP, 1 versus 3.
Oh, that was so nice from Apex. As soon as Stiko shot and he knew there was only 2 up, he knew where the other guy was. He said, I can literally run onto the site, onto this angle, exposed completely to Cat, but you can't stop me. I know you're up as on cycle. And that's 2 ops down on the round in the round 1 from Vitality. And I think ZywOo almost fluffs it here because he's actually in a fine spot. They go for the molly that lands half on the site, half on the ramp, but it doesn't molly out default. So maybe he preemptively wanted to move because he was spotted and he thought a second molly would come. But at that moment, he didn't need to leave and died.
Shock's loving his Crimson Web.
Always has. What, the M9? Does he have it?
That's one of the best knives in the game.
It is easily.
Undisputed.
The only undisputed.
It was the king for years.
It's
the
like
king.
you with honey. Yeah.
It was exactly.
He the only problem is that you have to get like you have to spend like 5 extra grand just to make sure there's like 3 less scratches.
Yep.
Wow, he's pre-flashing the. They smoke all the way in the tunnel.
Oh, here is the warning. Masuta with 2-man spray down. B tunnel's so good to punish. Emmy, how on earth has he got here? Well, he was here. He's history now. Shox continues with the AWP. Here comes the cavalry. We've got support grenades coming through, and Apex will put Farley out of his misery as Vitality moves to 5.
Never fun to run through a deep smoke and die that way. They tried to kind of flash just the end of the tunnel in case someone was out there peeking, but Masuda's got a huge advantage with a big box, and he eats the flash after he gets the first kill, so he's totally okay the whole time with extra support in the site with an op as well. It's just not the right site to go to, but it isn't a full buy, so it's not a big deal there for FPX. This actually, wait, did they invest there? Or is it a double? Oh, maybe they did invest actually. I don't know if it was a half buy. They've got some money left over, but this is also a save, of course.
See if Farley can land any more headshots. Oh, actually, Zen's got the scout for now. I feel like give it to Farley.
You think he uses Headspace app? Does meditation?
Which one?
Or is Zen
Farley?
just like his last name or something?
I reckon he stands under the waterfall,
Yeah.
That type of guy.
Oh
my
God.
days. Okay, more than one with the scout now. Oh, we got problems on the A-bomb site. Apex trying to shut down the lemming push.
Oh.
All right, then. The exchange continues. There is a very good chance of a bomb plant here, but they've got to get on it quickly because the cavalry is coming. Maiden now hasn't made it to the site just yet. He's going to be in some trouble. Question of damage rather than bomb plants at this point with 2 CTs on the site, and down he goes. 3 kills in that eco round is very, very fruitful for FPX.
And they deny the bomb plant. The buy is coming anyways, but at least they stopped the money slightly. So maybe there are going to be more saves on the horizon here. Not much action in this map towards long. Kyojin has been chilling in pit. There haven't been too many long takes. There hasn't been late long hits almost at all. And I wonder why that is. If FPX, because Kyojin's more of an unknown quantity, if they want to go here or not, well, okay. Now they'll attempt to get out. They get out quick. Maybe they were just missing spawns the entire time. Hard to say. Apex dies off Cat trying to push aggressively after long control is taken, assuming there might be 5. But we got Matic coming down suicide, only to get refragged here from ZywOo. Open lines down mid.
Shock's creeping around the smoke. He may reposition to the site before that smoke dissipates. Angle's being held by Farley already. We've got a creep from Emmy as well. Shox is able to fall back. Promising HE grenade.
Oh, if he swings, he's cooked. But the bomb is all the way back there on flat. Oh, the boost comes out from Stiko. A little bit of ingenuity here and a great spray from Kyojin. Normally found in pit. This time playing more of a rotator role. Farley will take his talents back towards middle. I don't know if he's here to duel in the spawn or if he's going to crouch walk under this. But they've already beat him to the other site.
How does Masuta push through? He knows he'll have better timing, so he can just get an off angle for free.
Oof.
It would be exceptional for Farley to get past this. He starts to walk though, 27 seconds left on the clock. And it could be the no scope. The lineup's perfect! Goes for the quick scope, but that might be 2 clicks too much. 1 click too much. Just 1 click is the shot.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of saw him dying there. I was like, he might get incidentally cleared. Just because it doesn't really cost Farley anything to look that direction.
Yeah.
But
You see the barrel placement from Farley's important as well, not to concede his position too early.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Wow, seven rounds here for Vitality. Some good mid-rounding. I think Masuda looks very sharp today. Specifically 13 and 6 right now. And I feel like Vitality really haven't been pushed to their limits yet. But even 7-4, there have been some good rounds from FPX. Definitely. Apex smells something.
A quick hello with a pistol. There we go. Opening kill onto Emmy. In the meantime, Apex moves deep towards Shot. The flash is there, but look at the rifle support. Always important. And, oh, Shock's a little strafe before he takes the shot, and now it's target practice for him. And he's got Zaiwu here as well. Things go from bad to worse. Lovely flick for that second last kill. Saw a touch of Farley. Knows he's picked something up. Apex on an investigation, and it might get expensive again. But double peak is ready for Vitality, and Vitality being the name of the day. Word of the day. Vitality now with 6 rounds in a row. They keep the numbers up in that round, which is good.
I think there was a bit of confusion here to get Emmy opt because they threw those nades to be able to cross, I think, the big box to throw the mid-B smoke, and then Emmy wasn't there, so maybe the wrong guy didn't buy a smoke or didn't have one. Remember that clip of Freakazoid, or no, it's not Freakazoid, Sean Gares yelling at Ricks for not buying
Yes!
Buy a fucking smoke, Ronnie! It happens in games. We don't get to see it.
That's every game for me, every round.
You know what? In a lot of pro matches too, people buy the wrong nades, they get in the wrong spots, and everyone's tilted. If you don't have the nades, your IGL gets tilted, everyone else gets tilted, so.
Dude, I could tell you some hilarious stories about things I've seen from people's team practices.
I've got all day after this round.
Standard stuff so far from FunPlus Phoenix. Short has been taken. Pretty much default territory. Double ramp play. This is interesting. Got Zaiwu on the A-bomb site with no flashbangs. Normally you'd want your sniper to throw some flashes for the ramp guy. But it looks like there'll be a suggestion of a play towards B. And for this, Vitality will be somewhat out of position. How about this setup?
Uh-oh.
Masuda on an island, deleted. Now Shox has a lot to do. He is being surrounded. Flashbang is enough to take him off the angle, and the B-bomb site has been taken. I'm not sure if there's much for Vitality to do here.
Could call it unlucky timing a little bit, but you know, anything past that moment where Shox was looking through the door was too late. Masuda's going to get hard cleared. They are very committed to checking that angle, and it's not like he's been playing there every round. I don't think he has been before, but that position can just get spotted. So very nice from Farley. You know, good awareness, and then the flash was perfect on Shox. It was an after-image flash. It went so high that it covered a lot of angles, but it didn't last that long. But the spacing was so perfect out the door that it was just enough to display Shox's aim.
So there was a team which will remain anonymous.
Anonymo?
No. And I was watching them do a scrim, and their IGL asked a player to throw a certain grenade, and then the player responded that he wasn't sure if he could do it because he changed his resolution. And I just thought, like, is this what the IGLs have got to go through? Like, how on earth does anything happen?
That's such a CSGO moment.
Yeah, that's hilarious to me.
Would it be harder? I mean, you could miss, I guess, but it'd be the same spot that you aim.
It depends if you're aiming at the crosshair though, or like something else, like the grenade itself.
Oh yeah, your gloves or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Loads of those.
Connector smoke, maybe? Top connector.
Yeah, Mirage.
Yeah. Oh.
Vitality with 8 rounds on the CT side is a pretty damn good start. FunPlus Phoenix are certainly on the back foot in this scenario. I think the CT side is going to be very difficult for them, and they'll be asked for a lot, rather, on their CT side. So if they can get 7 rounds, that would be fantastic. You can see Zaiwu abusing the angles of the smoke here. Man. Again, in this scenario, the person closer to the smoke is at a disadvantage, so he will abuse the edges. Just give a warning shot to FPX.
Yep. It's not been a fun time for Arizona-based bouncy castle company, FunPlus Phoenix.
Bouncy Castle Company.
I always thought when I looked
I
at
have a
their name.
stat. I have a stat about Bouncy Castles
Okay.
actually.
Can't wait to hear that. Right after this round. Push gets shut down on long. Zaiwu sees more players. They have the op cone fire here from both sides. It's not going to be easy to cross. They've got the spotlights working together.
Oh my God.
Just punish this cat presence.
Deer in headlights.
Jeez.
Vitality just lamping in round 14. Stiko finds himself in a 1 versus 4. Well, he's got a long ways to go and not much time to do it. So it'll be holding the AK for the last round, I suppose. That was glorious.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 ops, like 1 on the corner, 1 on the site. It's really strong, but, you know, how are you supposed to read that? And what do you do? What do you even do in that spot? What's the fact?
Oh, right. So there was a guy, I watched this documentary about people in London who like became terrorists, right? They went to like Middle East and stuff. And there was this one guy who was I think he was from, I forget where he was from, but he was a bouncy castle salesman. I'm thinking I can see why he became a terrorist.
What's the fact?
What are the career prospects? That's the fact. That's the whole thing.
That's not a fact.
Yeah, I'm like if bouncy castle salesman is the play, I can see why you might be a bit disillusioned with life.
Well, I mean, you know.
How do you even tell that? Like, go through the phone book? I don't know. FunPlus Phoenix are 4 versus 5 in this final round of the first half, and indeed, they are going to have such a task ahead of them once they move to the second. You can see Shox knows his angles real well, catches Farley off guard as well, and they just keep coming up. I think it's done a good job. There'll be support flashbangs surely for a CT swing. There's a pop, there's a swing, spots both of them, still down at long. And there may be more from Vitality. They just got more men on road.
So much room for the ops. There's more and more just peeking over and over again. And this, you know, wow,
Ooh,
smoke crack does looking like some very nice tracking, but it wasn't quick enough. And the round is kind of recoverable here with the op in play. Yeah, in fact, we'll get the kill into CT spawn from Stiko. And the only issue now is that it's the bomb that hasn't made it across the plat. They'll need the eliminations, but Masuda will make a case for the eliminations. He's got the first one. And now, fortunately for FunPlus Phoenix, the player with the bomb was not the one on site, so Vitality are a bit paranoid that some rotation has occurred that happened right underneath their nose. But now it'll be Stiko, sets himself up for the 1v2. Realizes he has a bit of respect here from the other team, but Apex comes up quick. Shot comes in from Stiko, and he'll hear the dink, but it's for a very few damage. And Masuda will win another clutch round.
Indeed, he will. So Vitality find 10 rounds on the CT side. That is amazing, actually, in my opinion. I think FunPlus Phoenix are going to have a hell of a lot of work ahead of them once they move to the CT side. That comes after the break.
Coming up after the break.
Vitality
Vitality.
versus FPX.
FPX.
Vitality move into the T side with 10 rounds on the board. A fantastic situation.
You sound like a golf commentator for a second.
Is that good?
I guess. I mean, it was relaxing.
Well, in the buy time, it can be relaxing, but after that, the tension has to rise. I'm here. I saw a great effort from Stiko with the P250 on the T side for FPX. Now on a CT side, and it's Shox who had a P250, but he is in the history books now. Maiden really abusing the range for the most part. That is a great response. FPX need this pistol. They need the lion's share of these rounds, man. I feel like, I mean, it's 5 rounds, but I feel like they're so far behind versus Vitality, so this is essential for them, and it's going well so far.
Yeah, by the way you said it, like, it's more than just winning the rounds for the numbers. It's for the confidence. It's because of how dominant that Vitality were in that first half. They need this just to get some optimism back, I think, because it feels like they've lost the game already, even though that's not necessarily true. And this is a very good round so far. You know, even Masuda getting a kill makes no difference. It's just great. We've got a player who can upgrade to head armor, you know, for $300. That's huge. And they're still within 4. We can see what the CG side has to offer. And you could have a situation where FPX, it's not an amazing map to go to, knowing Vitality would pick it, but since they knew, they might have prepared specifically for the T side, they might have prepared specifically for the CT side. Maybe we see some tactics here that is going to work versus Vitality specifically. But everybody came to play today. Lots of confidence here from both sides. You know, particularly impressive game, I think, from Stiko again. I think he's had a wonderful tournament so far. But on the other side, Masuda, who was non-existent in their first match, is the top performer right now.
Ooh, the palm tree flash.
So tricky.
If you left and right click and move backwards slightly when you throw this flashbang, it goes off behind the palm tree, but the palm tree isn't solid.
It doesn't exist.
So the Ts don't see it coming, and they get blasted in the face. It's really, really awesome. Alex taught me that one. If he's ever, when he would be streaming demo reviews and so on, there'd be so many tidbits that he would drop.
Maui?
No, Alex, formerly of Cloud9 and Vitality.
Oh, all caps Alex.
Yeah, all caps Alex. I've learned nothing from Maui Snake.
That's an unnecessary comment, James.
I'm full of unnecessary comments.
Yeah, that's true. It's because you haven't watched Maui's demo reviews. Also good.
Yeah, I haven't. I was more talking about playing Counter-Strike with him. Although we do heavily rely on him clutching. I'll give him that. I'm just trolling. 25 seconds. Vitality now looking to target the B bomb site, and there are no angles to be held from the A players. That is a nice opening kill, and that leaves Stiko in a lot of trouble, but he's put out of his misery quickly. This is the round over.
Damn, dude.
This is the round over.
Yeah, go save.
My God.
Oh, 2 bullets were fired this round. That was ruthless. Okay, this will be the 3rd shot of the round. Okay, it's Madden to shoot first. Surviving with these guns is everything because majority alive. You know, FPX are going to buy next round, so this dramatically changes what they can or cannot buy depending on if they save 3 or 2. And Vitality know that, and they have the opportunity. They've got some bloodlust. They should go for this, and these a flash tactic to kill one of the remaining players on FPX.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it's going to have a really big impact now. Look at the money here for FPX. One of the guns down, and people only have between, you know, $1,400 and $1,500.
Yeah, off camera, Launders and I thought at halftime that this is very, very likely to be a 1-0 for Vitality. Just the way it's gone and how many rounds FPX need on the CT side. Such a difficult spot for them versus the likes of Vitality. But finally he's landed quite a few headshots, looking for something through the door. Won't land on this occasion.
That's a Stewie peek. You line it up and then shoot him through the door.
Yeah, the strafing speed with the scout is so satisfying.
It feels like you're moving faster because you're zoomed in, too. You just feel like you're flying.
It's fun. It's fun in the right way. The jumping scout accuracy was fun in the wrong way.
I love that part too. Long control here for Vitality as FPX will jostle for cat control. That's, you know, a tiny bit of compensation. This doesn't solve all your problems, but it is a nice start. They might also catch a lower rotator here. Shocks peeking out. The kind of CT spread across the screen. This is interesting because Emmy's actually getting off a big flank. Unfortunately, he only has a P250 to work with. But, you know, they seem to know that long is being taken from the T's. And this info alone can slow things down. And also get the T set up in position, buy some time for Emmy, increase their odds of flipping this round back on its head.
There's that molly, which is probably supposed to go
Oh god.
the short plants. But we can see Zed is still in position. 25 seconds on the clock, and this could escalate very quickly. And indeed it will. All the kills going the way of FunPlus Phoenix. Shots now. May just want to hold on to this FAMAS, but
Wow.
kind of put himself in an island and then died.
Something weird there where the second smoke didn't come out for Vitality on the cross. So I don't know if someone missed it or if it was mollied. I don't think so. Maybe it was, I'm not sure, but that gave a gap, which allowed the FPX to get more comfortable. But FPX overall, it was really fantastic. The perfect, just throw the empty flash towards long to make sure they don't cross fast enough, then get really comfy with the MP9 into the site, get all the rotations over, Emmy to lock in with the big flank. They had a lot of outs, even though they didn't have a lot of guns.
FPX ready to defend long. Deep incendiaries.
It's cold here, James, activating your asthma.
It is indeed, yeah. My asthma's a bit crazy out in LA. Pollution and cold temperatures. Vitality now with the Hero AK on Apex. They have one flash and one smoke. Both in the hands of Shocks, who's top mid. Looking to show some presence in that mid position. Oh, this HE could be a chunky boy. Zen needs to hold things down. Indeed, he will do. There is an assist from the grenade kill from Stiko. That leaves Shocks alone now with a Desert Eagle. Like seeing Shocks with a pistol, prefer to see him with a rifle.
What got Vitality through their other match, I think a much harder match, was the fact that Kyojin was actually getting a ton of key entries on T-side Dust 2 last time. He was looking like his frag movies, really, really sharp. So looking forward to this next round, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to be looking for the most. Is he feeling comfortable or not? Because at this event, it also was the very first time that Kyojin had a positive KD. That doesn't necessarily mean he is the first time he had a good match, but even by watching the match, you could see he was playing a lot better, a lot more comfortable. So now the game is a lot closer. We're going to move forward in this T side. There's still no money to buy. FPX, in very dignified fashion, still back around where they had an MP9, a P250, a couple other SMGs. And now we're in a power position. And have converted almost 5 of their guns to AKs, which just means that it's kind of like a major sign of opulence if you've converted your guns to AKs, because it means you haven't died in a couple of rounds, and you can look over and see that people have built up a bit of a bank now.
Opulence is a great word. Word of the day is opulence. Well, it's a nice pair of rounds from FunPlus Phoenix. 5 men alive. They've got a full buy in the bank. So they have stabilized their situation for now, but the bigger guns are coming through for Vitality, looking for their second round in the second half. Deficit reduced to 2 for FunPlus Phoenix. It is a long road they have ahead of them.
Maybe they're comfortable to be here on CT side. I think we'll find out now, kind of, if that's going to be the case or not. Of course, one concession in the Galil for Apex, but that's just fine. He did that specifically to buy grenades, and I think in 2021 CS, nades are everything. Stiko's got a really tight angle here from the back of the big box. He doesn't have any other support right now, so he'll try to have to frag him. He can't get that kill, which means now the site has been compromised. The T's can get very, very comfortable here. The nades come in and they do a good bit of residual damage, but it's unconfirmed, so FPX won't know.
They have 2 incendiaries for the retake.
This is kind of, yeah, they've got a fast rotation in through upper tunnels.
Oh, Zywoo's taking matters into his own hands here. Maiden is dropped and Zywoo's ready for the second. So they can get Molly under the window. Molly towards the car. They'll go for big box in the back instead. Despite Zywoo's position up close. Popped in the side of the head from Emmy. That's a huge save, but they need a little more. Farley moving forward. Again, under the window, we see one of these Ts. Apex will fall to the flames, but the round will fall for FPX. It's in the hands of Vitality as they move to 12.
The Emmy frag through the smoke through the door in the back, as Zywoo said, almost made the difference on that retake, because that was the opt down. Big box player ended up dying too. But it ends in a 2v1 for Vitality. Stico needed to get one there. Unfortunately, that can be what it boils down to, is a small side player on any map, just because usually the retakes are a lot harder. So going 1-for-1 and opens doors. And you know what? What's even more important than going 1-for-1 or getting 2 kills or whatever is just trying to delay as long as possible. Because the longer you delay, the closer your teammates get to be able to throw nades for you, to molly out positions, to keep everyone uncomfortable, and then that big flank suddenly doesn't take as long as it was supposed to. But this separates Vitality a little bit more from FPX. The one failure from Vitality in this half so far, I think, was trying to convert long control into a round win. And that's where I think FPX showed their strength. And I like this adjustment. It's kind of like, if you're winning a lot, it's a nice adjustment just to change things up. And if you're losing a lot, it's a nice adjustment to try to find strength in some other area with the second op.
Well, Shox has made his way towards blue with the full buy. Lofton see one incendiary towards blue to stop this position. And one more in the doors. We have a 3-man investment in long from Vitality. Farley holding angles towards the car. That's a big map control taken. Vitality are threatening to take short as well. FPX looking for maybe a retake of long because they haven't responded towards short whatsoever. Maybe that's what's expected of them. They may play against that. Kyojin elevated in his position. They're waiting for a response of some description. There'll be a smoke on shot from FPX, so maybe Vitality wonder more about long.
We see Zywoo really trying to hold on to this angle so often with the op, and it's just so powerful because of the smoke lineups that come here, and also you can't actually molly car unless you're here.
Oh, he's going to get 2. He's going to get 2. Oh my days! The setup, FPX were ready.
Uh-oh.
There's a standoff on long, and there's a man advantage for now. The flashbangs continue, though. Farley's in so much trouble. We've got a short push coming through as well, so the split is on for Vitality. Zen's in plenty of trouble. His teammates are rotating, but they don't have any flashes for him, and down Zen goes. High ground advantage for FPX as well as everything else. One cross is won by the car, and it gets even harder. They could go for a boost here, but with the gap in the smoke, would they even risk it? Actually, Stico's making his way all the way towards long. Kyojin's looking for it, starting to creep. How patient will Stico be? Oh, there it is. 2 versus 2 now. AWP still in the hands of Zywoo. Short is a question mark. Emmy hasn't revealed his position just yet. Creeping now, but he's going to spot Apex. That's a huge headshot. Zywoo in the clutch. There's a smoke and a HE grenade. They're not exactly sure where he is. Emmy trying to identify this by jump peeking. The scope has been heard now. A swing and a miss, but the bomb is planted for Zywoo. A tag, but Emmy's still alive now. 15 HP. They've got to get on there. Stico holding the angle. Zywoo trying to bait the shot. Going for the pre-fire as well. And there it is.
He knew exactly how much space he had to work with. He didn't want to go out any farther, just to show how smart he is, and almost hits that shot through the wall. But I think Kyojin makes a really clear mistake here in trying to take this fight. Of course, hindsight is 20/20 with Stico holding on to long control, but more than that, they didn't need long control there to defend in the post plant. With the A site that they had, it didn't really open anything up. But Kyojin could hold on to CT from his spot on car. There was a player there as well. And Stico's kind of a non-threat coming out long. When they have flat control and there's no one actually on cat, nor anyone else, and they have the numbers advantage. So I think leaving that post just kind of set things in motion for FPX and allowed for the retake. There were some great grenades there from Vitality to counteract the car control, but overall it's a pretty high-level round from both sides. A really quick shot here from Stico to kick off the 23rd. It's actually a refrag after Kyojin dies. Flash to fall back. They're coming in fast behind him.
So many targets for Stico. Hold on a second. I'm just hearing all kinds of headshots. Emmy again with a 2K, making it doable for his team. Masuta trying to get an advantage, but Maiden is just creeping through the smoke. They don't expect it to be this close, or will they? Masuta goes down. Apex 1 versus 2. HG's being deployed, and now it's Farley versus Apex. Does he go through the smoke? He's holding the angle, and Apex looks ready. an exchange. Both at half health, but Apex has the angle with the AK, but Farley's better on this occasion. An expensive round, but FPX keep it close, 11-12.
Yeah, an interesting, confidently taken duel there by Apex, but of course, Farley can play with him a lot. You could see how he was adjusting his elevation to make the headshot a little bit harder to predict, and Apex couldn't find it. So the round is recovered from FPX. I actually love this from Vitality coming in fast after Stiko is there with the AWP. Sometimes if an AWP is pushed up, then that tells you that another CT is very far away because, you know, naturally, why would you want to overstack a site that already has so much early information? So Vitality had an opportunity there. They followed it up very quickly, but Emmy really got these 2 important kills on the entries. And he's not somebody who I think of as a high-fragging IGL, but certainly someone who I think of as just a very smart player overall.
He gets a lot of impact frags, I feel like.
Yeah.
He gets really important kills on a regular basis.
Yeah. I think he is definitely underrated.
For sure. I think it's kind of a curse because of his previous roles within organizations that it's going to be hard for him to get the respect he deserves. We can see it, and we can call it out. Pistols are out for Vitality. There's a smoke for the B doors from mid, and we'll see if Stiko is able to defend on this occasion and switched out the AWP for an M4. Behind the smoke he goes. He can actually jump up on the box here, but Apex has seen him. Now there's a rifle to be collected, and it goes from weird to bad for FPX. HE for the double stack, expecting the bomb plant to be there, but it is below the window. Flashbangs towards the car and got to go for it. Quick fish from Zen. Got some Super Mario Brothers. No Molotovs here for the retake from FPX. 2 to CT, and there's a HE for the big box as well, but here comes Shox, and this is a devastating round for FunPlus Phoenix after all the hard work in the round prior to get destroyed like that by Vitality.
Yeah, I really feel for them for that exact reason that some of these rounds are just rambunctious from Vitality. They're trying to close the distance as much as possible. You know, Shox shows us exactly what that means coming out a window. They're keeping the chaos up every second of the round, and sometimes they're just straight up B hits. And of course, with French CS comes very strong B hits, very fast ones, and creating chaos is actually where they can thrive sometimes. So I'm not surprised that they're using these options, but I do feel for FPX that these are rounds where they have a numbers advantage, that sometimes they have a really, really strong push, and they are kind of expecting or prepared for these options, but still are eating the flashes, still are getting run down by these pistols, and losing a lot of space way too quickly. Because even if they delay a little bit, and B is definitely the problem area in this half, then the rotations coming in can be enough. Because FPX have already won some very hard retakes, even after losing entries at unexpected moments. Wow, no one crosses yet. That was very, very late. So I think Vitality actually hold off on going long because they don't see anybody crossing early on. Late cross comes out from the CT side. And even a Molly coming in here to long. Looking at the money, you wouldn't expect FPX in this kind of round to afford that many grenades, but they're making it feel like they have some.
Oh, that's some good damage. Emmy needs some help. There's no flashbangs to come his way. The fadeaway HG grenade, absolutely beautiful. That is
Iverson.
A swoosh if ever I saw one. Man advantage is retained for FunPlus Phoenix, but their utility is almost completely gone. Zen has got the one flashbang, and that utility may be key later on. You can see Farley getting into position now. Having lost long, it seems they will aggress towards short. Maybe the flashbang will be part of this story. Indeed, it will be. Vitality holding position for now. They've got 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs, and 2 flashes. There are options available to them. You can see Stiko hiding in B with a Desert Eagle. But Vitality will be holding position towards A long for now.
Man, this is like a challenge almost for Vitality. An interesting one, because they have the utility to do it. They're missing a little bit of health on Apex, but they've got a strong... An AWP in this position can make a world of difference. I think they need to get the bomb to one of these riflers and let Zai would do his thing from here. They can try to cross with him, but, you know, of course that means that he's going to have to plant, which means he can't cover a rifler. But FPX have been very, very strong in these spots. The only problem for them is they don't have a lot of nades.
Oh, that's a very important shot onto Apex. The crouch pick from Farley, forced forward by the Flames. That leaves Shox in the clutch. 10 seconds, 1 versus 4. Not much for him to do. I think the AWP may be a bit far away as well, so he'll be reduced to the AK and maybe even less. Gets a little sound cue, and Stiko won't be able to take his gun away, but FunPlus Phoenix are keeping this close. They're winning really important rounds when they are on the brink of destruction.
This was the same thing that happened yesterday versus NIP. It's like some of the in the game, it looked like they were almost a better team, but sometimes they were beating themselves with the rounds they were losing. Like if they hadn't lost 2 rounds to Tech 9s in the B side already, would they be in the power position in this match? Maybe looking at match point.
Timeout from FPX to wait until
to talk about things. Okay, let's talk about this. I personally think they just need to prenate a little bit more on the B site and stop worrying about getting upper tunnels control first of all, because these rounds will be a lot easier if they can maintain some distance from the pistols. If there's going to be any kind of rush, and of course there is a buy here, but it's going to be mixed, and we know Vitality have favored going towards B. If I'm Apex, I'm probably thinking of something that ends mid-B or upper tunnels because it's been so hard to stop. And also, they know that FPX are probably going to be a bit scared about pushing tunnels. So I'd be worried right now if FPX to have an op in this round and to do anything but have a 2-1-2 setup and really focus down on mid-control. So that, of course, pushes the gamble to, Vitality thinking, all right, 2-1, he's a long spawn. They've got a really heavy B lean right now. But I think no matter what happens, I'm thinking about ending B if I'm Vitality. And they have a lot of utility as well to sell fakes if they want to.
So people like to post up for the big box peek flashbang, and he will announce his position.
Yeah. It was too tempting. It felt like a peek was coming.
Yeah.
This is 4 players out, so they were going to follow up. They were going to follow up on this entry and hit B if there was a chance for Zaiwu to take that kill. So FPX win the early round, and this, I think, increases their odds dramatically because it's been these crazy rambunctious B pushes that have thrown things out of order. And FPX smartly come back to reclaim long control after the dust is settled. I think another very smart decision by them. And this is enormous for Matt. It's going to phase the smoke in long and then sit within the door. And this means his teammates can basically rotate freely off of this.
And they need to.
Yeah. And Vitality are moving slow enough that this is, really big info that's being used well here from FPX.
He continues, Maiden. He's got to be careful, though. There is time for Vitality to make a plan B if he gets picked off here. So get 1 kill and fall away. And that tells Vitality, we know what you're doing. And they've got to speed up now. Seiko needs to stay scoped in, go for some pot shots or something, because here comes the charge, here come the grenades. Repositioning now, forced away. He's got his teammate to help him. Nice one into the side of Masuta's head. Looking for the angles again. Zen dropping the bomb, but there's still a chance for Zaiwu to clutch. There's no mollies to limit a bomb plant. 24 seconds on the clock. 2 of the 3 players for FPX close already. HE towards the car, but Shox has gone into the tunnels itself, leaving Zaiwu in the clutch on the bomb site. He knows what's safe and what isn't. Scope will probably be heard. There isn't even a flashbang for them to entry here. How do they move into the site? You can see Zaiwu now taking an angle towards double stack, and that may give them an entry. Shox, oh my god, that's absolutely terrifying. But it's down to Zaiwu now. Misses the first shot, 1 versus 3, and Vitality may be running out of steam towards the end.
Man, it was almost the Zaiwu effect there with the AWP. You thought he was going to even get more. Overall, a fantastic round from FPX from beginning to end.
It's got to the point where I always expect Zaiwu to win, regardless of the situation.
Yeah, you got to. It almost feels like 40% chance of winning that round 1v3 every time, right? But yeah, this is a round that FPX needed completely. It feels like Vitality's odds in the early round are very high, but once FPX slow it down, their rotations are very smart. Madden made that key play towards long with his teammate. I mean, they're just making sensible moves. I'm starting to have a lot of faith in FPX. They've tied up the game. They've got Vitality, digging into the piggy bank for whatever they can afford, and it's pretty much just Deagles on this round. And you got to think now, where does the plan go for Vitality? Looking back on this half, there haven't been too many impressive rounds. It's been more like chaotic ones that have been winning them these T rounds.
If FPX can win Dust 2, this series becomes very interesting indeed.
We're talking.
Very interesting. And if Vitality, imagine the Psyche, if they can't win Dust 2.
Yeah.
What is going on in their minds?
It was given to them in the veto as well. On a silver platter.
Ooh, Stico. Double peeking him.
Uh-oh.
Still re-aggressive though. Molotov will certainly help Zen try to hold control. That HE is going to be a chunky one. Shox trying to move in, trying to create some space, but it goes from bad to worse to terrible for Vitality. Bomb plant looking extremely unlikely now. Apex gets cut to pieces. What is there for Kyojin to do at this point?
I don't know what you would do in this situation, but from what I'm seeing with the amount of tunnels hits that are coming, I don't think this op is actually helping them in the site. I feel like, first of all, Stico's not hitting a ton of shots. He was doing way better in the first half. He had like 16 kills in the first half. And every time he, pops up for an op shot or dies, there's a chance that they get the op in the post plant, and that becomes a tool used against the CT side. It makes things way harder. So I feel like they could save money, not go for the second op and have a better chance, but he goes right back into it. So we'll see what the idea is, if they're going to try to push with it or hold back at K-Sharp like they were just now. But Vitality turn their talents towards long, and they take it over quickly. There's also no one here to fight. So immediately we see the scramble to get some map control back from FPX. And this is where, Dust 2 becomes its most obvious. Most people understand exactly what the rotations are going to be from the CD side to T side. And the two players get boosted up on Cat. And basically, because long control is taken, they're going to be light towards Cat. It's going to be easy to take control of. And now they set up. And here's Zaiwu's job is to create some pressure on this Cat push.
Oh, they have a read of what might be happening here. They're looking for him. That's absolutely beautiful. FPX seems to have an idea of the exact play from Vitality, and Farley is here holding angles, and down go Vitality. FPX charging towards game point here. Masuta and Apex, so much to do there. Blind. My God, what is happening right now? That's a shocker for Vitality.
They're just a better team right now. That was just beautiful.
Hold on a second, though. Apex has a flank. No one is watching this smoke, and there are 3 players. Actually, Farley is watching it. Zen keeping an eye on the gap, but they're looking away once more. Oh my God, they've been traded places. He'll get a transfer, but not the first kill. Masuta, 1 versus 3. How long have FPX had this in their pocket for? The trade is here. 2 players survive. Game point, FPX. What just happened, London?
That was just perfect, because most people will go over, take over cat control, and then chill there. But instead, FPX say, we know you're full long, all right? Not only do we know you're full long, you might be trying to set us up for something slow, put some pressure on our cat players. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to put pressure on your mid players, because we're the ones with majority here. And they had 2 players with a flash and 1 at the mid doors, and decided to create that attack on the light part of the map for Vitality, knowing that long control was for sure. Now we move into what could be the last round of the game, round 29 here. A lot of confidence here for FPX. Fast cat play up for Vitality. Long control's been taken as well. The double nades come in. Oh my God, almost 300 damage.
Call of Duty. We got kill streaks in this bitch.
Is this how it all ends?
Oh, this is poetry.
They're gonna wait for a flash from Madden. As the smoke fades, pushing through, Madden comes with the phase. Perfect.
Oh my God, they've been absolutely deleted. There's no trace of them. The history books will not show Vitality on Dust 2 in this. My God, these last rounds from FPX are amazing. They are endearing rounds. These are rounds to build a fan base with.
Wow.
My God, that is awesome. And again, we spoke about name value and so on and taking them for granted. FPX showing that they're beasts. We got a nice tap from Masuta, but he needs 4 more. And he's got less than a minute to do it. Well, there's a second one. FPX needs to be careful now. Let's not make this easy. There's 2 1v1s being given to Masuta. And me and Farley will line up together, trying to use the gap, and there it is.
Wow.
FPX taking Dust 2 by force. Vitality will be left wondering what on earth just happened in those last rounds.
Take man Twix by force.
Exactly.
That was just nasty. I mean, there's so many great rounds. That's like a demo. That's a demo review right there.
Do it.
Yeah, that was so nice. Back-to-back tactics that work out beautifully. And it's a half. It's a half where it feels like Vitality were gonna win. It felt like they were gonna win. They were gonna get into B site. They were gonna take over, and still, FunPlus Phoenix stayed strong.
That was awesome. Thoughts at the desk after the break.
Dust 2 was the first battleground in this elimination series, and a chance for FPX to steal away the map pick of the Frenchman. Almost as close as it gets to open up this clash, and an absolute roller coaster of emotions at the very end. And one person I think is very glad to be on this ride is Semler, the sole predictor of FPX up here on the desk. How do we see them turning it around in those final moments?
I mean, I'm really surprised at your choice of words. Glad, it's a bit of a stretch. You were sitting next to me watching that game, all the noises I was making. This was a wild roller coaster of a first map, and it's a hell of a time to be an FPX fan because, man, oh man, it looked like Vitality were in the lead, and then FPX fought back, and then it was just going back and forth. It was such a wild map. Just kudos, and I'm glad that we actually get to see the scoreboard. I was looking real quick to see what the final was. We couldn't really keep track of the kills, but I mean, to see it so even across the board, it really feels like everybody on FPX had their moment and stepped up. I mean, even us, we couldn't shut up about Emmy. Just guy was getting multi-frags all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had a light praise for Emmy before this game, but as an individual, he came up with some really key multi-frags and kept FPX in some rounds that it kind of felt like there was no business for them in.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were kind of highlighting Madden coming into this as your potential kind of star maker for the squad, but everybody was really stepping up on the side of FPX. Do you feel like that was a potential difference maker for them from what we saw against the Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the fact is that if they match up against Vitality right here, Vitality was very top-heavy. I mean, Masuda had a huge overperformance. Zaiwu, I mean, he delivered, but he did go negative in this game. Everybody else, though, on the side of Vitality kind of just fell off a cliff after that.
I'm just in my mind right now, like, well, what did we say going into this match, guys? If they win a pistol round,
they lost
the second.
They did lose the second. We skipped that part, but they won the pistol, right? Just getting a couple of those rounds, those high-value rounds that can set the tone in. Early on, against NIP yesterday, they donated 10 rounds of map essentially, and still managed to keep it close. Here you go. They actually win a couple of those key rounds. And we're looking real competitive for FPX. All of a sudden, they're in the game.
But I think that's the crazy thing is we go back to the first half and things were looking pretty good for Vitality. We've got round number 11 to be breaking down here from the CT side of the Frenchman as well. And things were starting off pretty solid for them.
Yeah, this is a great start from Zaiwu, obviously, those 2 kills towards middle, and then just a perfect flash from Zaiwu to get Kyojin those final kill, or those 2 kills there. Zaiwu did everything in that round, and it felt like the CT side for Vitality was really comprehensive in terms of him finding picks, good flashes to set up other people. Everything was just looking great.
Dude, I remember us freaking out when it's just like, why are you going long when Zaiwu's there with the scout in the second round after the pistol? Like, please don't go to Zaiwu. Can we just not go to Zaiwu right now, guys? And sure enough, Zaiwu was just hitting all the shots. Zaiwu, you can't really take anything away from him. It always seems like he's coming up with value for Vitality, which is why they're so dangerous. But we wanted to talk a little bit about Misuda, because Misuda, I mean, he just overperformed wildly. Was looking at some of his recent statistics, and he's not a guy who gets above 20 kills very often for Vitality. It's not really his job, but here on Dust 2, the guy showed up to play. He was leading from the front, taking the hard duels and winning them.
And it was interesting because you were bringing up, Maui, we look at Vitality and there's 3 players that we can, normally consistently rely upon. Your question marks were for Masuda and for Kyojin. So it must be a pleasant surprise to see Masuda stepping up, although they can't close out the map.
Yeah, it's a nice sign for Vitality. The question is that kind of why was he able to step up, but everybody else couldn't. So congrats to Masuda for having a great map right here, but he does need help. And that's weird to say, because usually when I'm talking about Vitality, I'm saying Zaiwu is the one that needs help. But Masuda, you could see that package of frags right there. The fact that he's able to find so many at his bomb site, away from his bomb site while he's rotating, even in transition he's finding kills. That's a really good performance from Masuda, and I'm glad that he's taking it upon himself to just play at such a high level.
And keeping on the topic of Masuda, we've got another round to be highlighting going into the second half. The T side of Vitality, this time at round number 17. And this is where we potentially thought, Vitality might be taking this one away for this map.
Yeah, so if we jump into this one, this is just really, again, FPX, they win the pistol, but Vitality, they set them back. So good mid to B here from the Vitality side. And Masuda, we were just talking about him, gets the 1D to open things up. And it kind of felt like right here, this is when Vitality should just take the map away from FPX. The life was just sucked out of FPX at this point, but that wasn't the case.
No, they continued to fight back. FPX had a game plan, and they stuck to it. I mean, really just shutting down Vitality on this T side. It felt like Zaiwu kept having to go back to the well with the pick on op, with the op towards B, and yet we were seeing it where it's like they're not going to peek him. You got to wake up early to catch Stiko off guard, and Stiko, again, showing his value, just not giving kills away for free and not falling for Zaiwu's usual shenanigans, usual traps. So it felt like Vitality really just got stumped this game.
Do you feel like there was a particular turning point for the side of FPX to be getting back into this one? As we were saying, after that round, we kind of thought it was going to be siding with the Frenchman.
It kind of felt like FPX was just picking up rounds here and there in terms of just Emmy having having so much multi-frag potential. Farlig as well was overperforming from his positions on top of that. And really, it was kind of like the opposite of Vitality, where for Vitality, you were relying on Zywoo and Masuda to come up with huge rounds for them consistently. On the other side, for the side of FPX, that was, it really felt like no matter where Vitality went, they were running into a wall. The B hold was strong. The cat hold was strong. The long hold was also really, really good. And also, their retake procedures were surprisingly good on FPX on top of that. Like, they did have, like Semler said, a really comprehensive plan in terms of how to deal with every position.
Yeah, it was very impressive as well. And it was somebody that you kind of picked up outside of the server. Devilwalk is obviously the coaching staff behind FPX. Obviously not utilizing the same way in this RMR, but maybe a testament to him in terms of the game plan that he was bringing to this.
Oh, certainly. He provides immense leadership to the team, and also on the tactical side as well. He's doing all the homework. He doesn't get any help like some other coaches out there who, have analysts and whatnot to fall back on. Devilwalk does the heavy lifting, and he is an absolute savage. So really glad to see. I mean, first major champ. The guy knows what it's about. He's been in the trenches. He knows how to play, and he knows how to play under pressure. So he brings a lot to the table as far as a coach is concerned. These guys really work as a team, which is why I think, having such a strong coach as Devilwalk, and then having, the other kind of like mid-round leadership and like Zen and Stiko as well with the smarts, it's like it's so spread out across this team that it really, when you look at the scoreboard and everybody's pretty even, and as Maui says, it feels like wherever you go, you're running into a brick wall. It's because there isn't just this one hard point that you have to deal with. It's really spread out across the team, which is why it makes FPX so much fun to watch, and why I'm becoming more and more of a fan as time goes on.
Yeah, and somebody that was definitely incredibly fun to watch, particularly coming into that second half, was Farlig. You were talking about his impact on the AWP in terms of some of the positions that he was holding.
Yeah, starts off with the knife round where he's able to take down a couple players there. But no, once he got a scope weapon in his hand there, he was fire actually, and got to give him a lot of credit because on the T side he was delivering there, a great shot onto Kyojin, but on the CT side is where I really saw Farlig pop off. It felt like around that Gandalf ninja position towards Plat, he was finding consistently multiple kills, and that is not a position that you usually are good for more than one at, because once they find out you're there, re-peeking, they're on you. Once they find out you're there, they'll just swing on you with a dominant angle. There's so many ways that angle should not work, but Farlig kept making it happen.
What's going to be really fun is to see him continue this kind of form onto Inferno, because we saw him really start to step up against NIP yesterday. Madden did a lot of the heavy lifting, did a lot of the work, but Farlig was right there with him, and that AWP on Inferno is not the easiest thing to make work, and yet Farlig was still getting results. So excited to see that Inferno's the next map, and they're fired up. It had to go to overtime for NIP yesterday, and that was with, again, FPX giving them 5 rounds to start off each half. So if FPX, again, just freaking win a pistol, it's looking good.
Yeah, let's continue to talk a little bit about Inferno as our second map of this series. And you were saying coming into this, Semler, they needed to iron out a few of the kinks we saw against NIP yesterday. Obviously, not starting off too hot in terms of the amount of rounds they were giving away. So from what we've seen on Dust 2, does this give you kind of positive signs for FPX coming into this next map?
Certainly. And it's at one point that was actually brought up earlier in terms of like Zywoo not getting to opt too often on Inferno. It is actually one of Zywoo's weakest maps in terms of performance. So Dust 2, one of Zywoo's strongest. If we're going into Inferno, one of Zywoo's weakest. And if Zywoo is the linchpin still for Vitality, you can't really get around it. He is still, the mountain on which they build everything. If he is not going to be feeling it too much on the map, and clearly he isn't, given the recent results on Inferno for Vitality, it's a map that's in flux for them, whereas it's a map that's really coming into, I was gonna say like what, the zenith, but it's not the astrological day anymore that we were celebrating.
Oh yeah, no, not National Astronomy / Astrology / whatever we want to call it. Yeah.
Mercury is
T-Day now, man.
Let's say right now. I'm gonna take the counterpoint though.
Go for it.
Take the counterpoint.
Save me.
I think that Kyojin, I think it's his time to shine once again for Inferno. I think he's had one positive game so far of Vitality. I think this could be his second because I can't believe it. It seems so backhanded, the compliment there.
Seriously,
honestly, he's getting a spot that he likes to play. He gets to play Pit on Inferno for Vitality. It was RPK's old position, but it's the position that Kyojin always got to play on his previous teams too. So there's a lot of comfort that he finds in that spot, and he doesn't have to make too many decisions. He doesn't have to be the guy that has to be the linchpin in terms of does he make the right move, pushing into apartments or into lane. No, it's his experienced veteran teammates that are around him that get to call the shots, and because of that, he can just turn his brain off, just aim at the heads, which we know he's all so good at because his previous teams, I mean, he had that crazy headshot percentage, and if he's able to thrive because he just gets to let everything come to him, I think he can be the player that Vitality need to be a side star to ZywOo.
Well, we will be jumping into Inferno very shortly indeed, but not before we hear some thoughts from Alan on Vitality's Inferno.
In yesterday's match between FPX and NIP, Inferno went down to the wire. And despite losing the map, the guys over at FPX still played an excellent T-side of Inferno. And let's take a look at one of those rounds to see what was going down. So as we can see, the FPX players are grouped up here towards long, and they want to wrap in towards this long area with a library smoke down. Now Madden here peeks out before the smoke blooms and catches out Res, and behind this they want to crunch on towards this A bomb site. Now in defense is Device and ZTR, and Device feels like I need to push up short, I need to take a duel and get some map control and information back for my team, and ZTR here around the mini pit position takes a duel with Madden. Now pushing up Device goes down, and at this point ZTR is getting pinched from 3 directions and really doesn't stand a lot of chance in this scenario, and he quickly goes down as FPX apply so much pressure and get the round over the line. So in this round we saw how brilliant FPX can be when applying multiple directions of pressure. What did you make of that one, guys? Back to you on the desk.
I love this from Alan. It's a great round, and it's a round actually that FPX used several times against NIP as well. They kept running it over and over again because NIP were having trouble dealing with that arch pressure, that wraparound arch into library, and really pinching those guys on pit and short. And so FPX actually got quite a bit of success with that round yesterday. It was one of the things that actually worked against NIP.
Yeah.
So I am kind of hoping to see them use that again here against Vitality, and we can see if the Frenchmen have an answer.
No, I think that is a really good point, and maybe we should reflect on some of the things we saw lacking from FPX yesterday, considering it was incredibly close, did go to that OT. Was there anything you're hoping to see FPX bringing today that we maybe didn't see against NIP yesterday?
Oh, I feel like Modern didn't get as much freedom yesterday against NIP that I usually see, where usually on the T side, he'll be making his way up banana a lot of the time, and then he kind of like pokes and prods into the bomb site, and I feel like against NIP, he was kind of neutered in that sense. I didn't really see it all too much, so today, if I'm not rooting for FPX, my points are on Vitality, I'll say that, but if we want to see FPX win, then Modern can do a little bit more. He could probably find some openings into that site, because that just makes Emmy's job so much easier in the mid round. If Modern's able to take space for free or find a kill, then you're playing with a huge advantage and so much pressure on your opponents.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear about the pressure points that Alan was bringing up as well, and maybe some more pressure on Vitality's shoulders coming into this, considering you brought up the point earlier, Maui, that we've seen a lot of shuffles in terms of Inferno. When they had Nevera on the roster, he was obviously subbed in for Shocks. Now we've got Kyojin coming into the mix as well. So do you think this could make for a bit more of a complicated task for Vitality to still kind of get used to this roster on this map? For sure.
You can't ignore the fact that Vitality has been kind of throwing out different attempts at finding a solution to the problem that is this map. They've constantly swapped out the roster. Nevera was in, and when Nevera was playing, they looked great, but Nevera, he got found out. The fact that he was peeking down mid maybe 50% of the times with the op, got called out by opposing oppers on the other teams, and so they had to swap Nevera out. They actually removed him from the team after that, but Shocks wasn't even part of that team that was winning all of those Inferno games, so now he is back into the mix, and now they take out RPK, who was an anchor at Pit. He was one of the best Pit players around, consistently finding 2 kills or just staying alive forever, and now they're playing with Kyojin, and I mean, I gave Kyojin some props because he looks pretty comfortable in that Pit position, but he does not have the decade of experience that RPK did.
Dude, do we have a challenger to Alexi B for best hair?
It's up there, right?
It's up there, man.
It's good.
Kyojin. Wow, I'm impressed.
Even that stray one that's kind of hanging
Yeah.
down, it looks tasteful.
No,
The
exactly.
mark of the artiste.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like he's done that deliberately. Well, props to Kyojin. Hopefully he can bring that style and flair
Glad I can
to
bring
the
that
server
that
as
deep,
well. Yeah,
that hard-hitting analysis.
it's
to
the little
desk
details,
right?
right? And maybe getting your take, Semler, on Kyojin as we see him entering the server with that fabulous hairstyle. Are you kind of the same elk of Maui, of the pressure of stepping up into RPK's role?
No, I don't think that he's going to be. I think it's more about integrating, not so much RPK's role, but integrating him into the team. It was the point that I was making, talking, I think, behind the scenes with Maui with breakfast, actually. We were talking about it where you can do all these sorts of things in the pub life. I don't know, maybe it was on the street, but you can talk about the pub life. That's fine and dandy, and he's got amazing aim, and he's got crazy highlight reels, and we've all seen them, and they're nutty. But you're trying to now, shift that pub life into a structured system that Apex is going to have, XDAZ is going to have. You're going to be playing as, with veterans who have played the game a certain way as well for a long time. So if you're going to come in there bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and be like, hey guys, I think this is what we should do, they're going to look at you and be like, get out of here. So I don't know, if he can come in and, I think he's going to have to adapt more of his game to the Vitality system than Vitality, if he was like some insane star, they're going to mold around him. You're dealing with Zywoo as well, who's going to take up a lot of oxygen in the room. So I think a lot of it rides on just on him being able to get integrated and get comfortable in the system more so than just the specific role.
Well, somebody who's always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed is the wonderful James Bardoff and, of course, Launders. We're going to be jumping into Inferno as it's map number 2. James, are you feeling confident in your FPX prediction?
I'm just kind of confused if you just call me a furry.
She did.
Any
Call me
issue?
a furry? Are we furries?
What animal would you dress up as first?
I had a kangaroo suit at Glastonbury once. There's a picture of that somewhere.
That's pretty good.
I'll take kangaroo. Why not? They got good kicks. I'm a leg man,
You're already brown, so you can just put the ears on. Start
And that's
jumping
I'm a
around.
kangaroo. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Marvelous. You know what? I was very nervous about the pick in either direction, to be honest. And Vitality were looking strong on Dusty. But here we are. It's 1-0 FPX, so I'm feeling a little more confident now. But it's not over for Vitality, but it might be in his pistol round. Oh my god, this is so back and forth. The trades continue. I'm not even sure if Emmy stopped running there. Just W all the way.
That is an FFA DM kill feed
Yes,
right there.
it is. The USP for either side. Emmy wondering where shots could be coming from as he slinks away under the balcony. The shadow of the balcony. Oh, he's got an angle on shots as well, and there is the final headshot. That was a pistol round.
Crispy. Look at all of the deaths on the minimap, all up lane, trying to figure out whether or not they're going to go arch or up through bracket. And FPX win the round. It's kind of nuts because yesterday, this was a map where FPX, they just made so many mistakes that it felt like they should have beat NIP, but at the same time, they just also, it was so disappointing to see some of the tactics they would try, like flashing, just running through a smoke on B when the rotations were a bit slow, not playing together. But then on the bright side for FPX, you think, okay, well, there's game tape directly for them to figure out what they did wrong. You don't learn off of your wins in the first place. So, if anything, we can have some faith that they've made some improvements on the fundamental errors they made yesterday, I would say. And also, Farley's playing a lot better today, clearly, than he was yesterday. So maybe there is room for potential win for FPX in map number 2.
I love how focused Stiko is on the cameras. He's not like giving too much emotion away. He's just focused. Even when they lost the game yesterday, afterwards, you could just see how tunneled in he is on the game itself.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic to see.
Yeah, he's got a good head on his shoulders, understands doing the content parts, having kind of a brand, but also being a professional very seriously, and himself very seriously.
He has a custom-built keyboard, so he's not messing about.
Right.
50 seconds on the clock as Zywoo and co try to offer something, an exchange of HE grenades, but Zywoo has a superior angle. That smoke causing big problems for FPX, and weapons are dropped on long. There's some jump peeking happening, and Masuda's got another smoke grenade. So this round, I don't think is really going to go very well for FunPlus Phoenix.
Yeah, not to say they did anything wrong here, but it's getting ugly. Flash will come in, actually. Oh my god, that's like a 2015 Flash. Waiting for Happy on the other side of the smoke, and they leave a player there as well. This is wonderful stuff from FPX. Bomb could potentially get planted with the smoke still up, no problem. Spam comes through the smoke, but it's off the mark. And now things settle a bit. Oh, another wonderful kill.
Yeah, that was real nice. No more utility for FPX. Vitality of 2 Desert Eagles and the flashbang, but that's not going to be in use as they are starting to creep in. Maiden, that was very fast from him. They know where Kyojin is now. Just need to play the numbers game here. He's got to defuse the bomb. Don't give him a chance to win the round. He doesn't have a defuse kit, so he's got to go quickly, and Farley will put him out of his misery.
Well, shit, James. That round was supposed to be over.
Yes, it was. And I have to give credit to the focus again from FPX, because I feel like a lot of teams with only 3 players left aren't going to have that spacing with the last guy. So if anything funky happens, he can clean up.
Here's the thing. They dropped that flash behind the smoke, so Masuda's staring at it. But in today's CS, you can't just drop a flash, a right-click a flash, and the other team will hear you now because of the update, right?
Yep.
So they have to have some distraction. So if they let that settle too much and they make it completely silent, then they throw that flash, Masuda turns around. But they kept just enough chaos and kept it just fluid enough. They responded right away to the thing. Stiko said, I'm flashing now as you guys are moving out. You guys are throwing your other nades. It's too hard for Masuda to hear. He eats the flash fully. And Stiko also waits in the back behind the smoke, which is huge. So even when that push comes through, he catches them off guard. Really beautiful recovery.
Yeah, I think the best example of that late last man is when the T's are going outside nuke towards Secret, and you just got that guy hanging around T-Red in case of a flank and so on.
Everyone's been sitting in the smokes these days.
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of that's happening at the moment. It's interesting actually looking at. I wonder. I don't really know much about like game engines and so on, but if you look at Apex Legends, right, it's built on the Source engine. I'm not sure if it's the same Source or Source 2 or what, but
Source is just modified.
They there's a character Bangalore that has that uses smoke grenades basically, and they reduce the I think the amount of particles or something, and you could kind of see through it, but they fixed it. But I don't know if there's like more that can be done in future with smoke grenades, but. That is definitely. Do you know what? I'll just ask them. I'll send them a message or an email or something.
There it is.
But anyway, we got 3-0 Vitality.
Conference call, I'll join.
3-0 for FPX rather, and Zaiwu will be out with the AWP. Zaiwu or Ziwu for the French. Doesn't seem to have left the borders of France, the Ziwu pronunciation. But there we are.
I tried to bring it out once or twice.
I tried to, but then, well, just look at the lace up. There is a hold of banana here from Apex. And when MBK was on the team, he went in an interview and said it is Zaiwu, not Ziwu. But
that's not even true, though.
I know, right?
You can hear the French commentators say it.
Because the Y you pronounce E in French, so. But again, it's like tacos got nothing to do with tacos. But if you can market it,
you remember back in the day when people used to be like Freiburg or Freiberg? You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to pronounce.
People started saying Freiburg.
Yeah.
Like, there's always some problem. There's always some problem.
Do what's comfortable for you. Uncomfortable round for FunPlus Phoenix. They find themselves in a 3 versus 5. We still have Farley lurking towards the B bomb site, creeping around some smoke grenades. There's actually 2 T smokes up at B. But still no rotation just yet, because there's only one gun firing at the moment. That's a big kill from Farley. That's a man who knows how to use a Galil. 30 seconds, and Zaiwu starts to wonder now. Oh my god, that's disgusting!
Oh my gosh.
Well,
is there more? Does he have more? He knows where the last guy is on the site.
Oh, Apex!
Coming up top. Wow, Apex somehow.
They don't really know what's happening here, Vitality. Apex has got 10 HP, and FPX are figuring out where to go. 13 seconds. They're really running low on time, and they've left Zen. Oh, this is a big gamble versus Apex. And the coffins, he delivers the headshot as he needs to. Huge kill. They must have known he was low, but boy, did Apex just deliver that.
That was awesome. He could have forced them to plant and then peek after. Either way, he wins.
What do you think of the decision there where they leave Stiko to cut off the rotation and send the 1v1?
It's too slow. It's too slow. Yeah.
I like it because I think that's great awareness of what you're in terms of like late round calling and so on.
Sorry, who had the bomb? It wasn't him though.
No. Stiko was in spawn, so they left one guy to take the 1v1 on the bomb site. But I think in terms of like late round decision making, that's a hard one to even consider.
Yeah.
So while there's more than one like correct option in many scenarios, I like that they actually even tried that.
I'm actually a bit confused now as to what was happening because they're going to be, but Farley gets both kills of B, but they still don't have the bomb to plant. So I don't know how they were too slow to actually get the bomb to plant down in the first place. But that's last round's problem. New issues now. Bracket crunch here with 3 CTs. Ooh, this is a perfect counter to that setup. Oh, 4. It's the full-on G2 setup here. Everybody peeking down into mid. Zaiwu gets taken out by Stiko. This is a strong lurk. The Molotov lands on top of the roof, so it doesn't actually molly Kyojin out of position. He looks uncomfortable, but he's playing with this angle well. 2 on 3. Bomb left in the CT's eyes. They can see it. They can protect it. And they've got 2 different ranges on it. Stiko and Emmy quite low. Emmy doesn't feel confident to peek off this flash, but that's pretty much the last piece of utility they have besides this smoke. Gotta go down to Arch. They clear this out. They can peek mid together. Looks like Shox understands what's coming. Takes matters into his own hands.
Yeah, Emmy really trying to isolate these fights here. Finds the bench player. Look at the bursting. Got to get the reload in. He's got cover. Shox pushing for the 1v1. Gets there just in time. A noble effort. Credit to Stiko as well. Had a really awkward fight from the balcony, but still managed to eke out one more kill.
If he didn't get dinked, then they might have been in business. So Kyojin got the damage he needed to, but that whole time, that kind of G2, 2 players on each side mid setup it's just so powerful, especially if you're going to clear mid that way. If they had cleared mid the more careful way, where they thrown the Molotov to under balcony, plus they had the flash to push them off and didn't peek that at all, it would have made sense. But it was just a perfect counter setup from a read that Vitality had.
Vitality not smoking top mid as we've seen other teams do on their CT side for those deep grenades. And it's Maiden's turn to hunt now. Big flashbangs as he tries to make his way through the smoke. Could be 2, but on this occasion it will be 0. That was a close one though. If he was on that barrel a second earlier, then who knows how this one plays out. But here we are. Hero AK in the hands of Stiko.
It's a bit scrappy. Apex have been really consistent at the top of Banana. Blind or not.
Sorry, there's 2 AKs. Zen has the second one. Looking for his first kill in this game of Inferno. Score-wise, situation's not too bad for FPX, 3-2 on their T side. But there's great potential for Vitality to start to pull away, in fact, catch up and pull away if they can win this round.
Vitality have something of an identity crisis on this map because this was a really strong map, and when they had Navera on the team, they won like 18 out of 22 Inferno games. They were basically unstoppable. And Inferno came up in every series, so they just won like every series. They won entire tournaments with him. It was nuts, but as soon as Navera is off the team, ZywOo doesn't really want to up on the map. Oh, what's happening here? Flank comes in from the CT side. Bomb gets dropped behind enemy lines, and Kyojin gets the final kill. Easy round for Vitality with that mid flank coming out.
You're saying?
They have trouble where ZywOo doesn't seem to want to op anymore. And he's like, I'm going to play on B. Sometimes he's buying the MP9, anchoring the B site. He doesn't want to be the arch rotator. Now he's back to that position, but they're definitely not as rock solid as they used to be. So it might have been for good reason. Now they're bringing in new help, and I think one of RPK's better maps was Inferno. So they've got to reteach a new player in Kyojin how to anchor on the site in the same way he did. And their CT side was already a bit strange. I'm not exactly sure though. The biggest question for me overall is why was ZywOo not comfortable hopping on the map?
See if Apex can protect this weapon. Be moving forward on Banana. Tight shot from Apex. I love the emotions that we see on his face, on the cameras and so on. Tells a great story. And he will dispose of the rifle as well, so he's done a great job in that respect. Still on Banana, just showing some presence as Farley tries to poke through the smoke and the bomb has been lost. Confident Apex, pulling the knife out. There we go. 4 rounds for Vitality now as FPX move back towards a bye, having a mixed results on Banana. 4 rounds in a row. They'll be looking to add a 5th one. Indeed, ZywOo a little cold at present, 1-5, but he turns up when he needs to.
Yeah, 12-3 for Apex, and just a key piece. If he's going to be fighting top Banana control, it's kind of like Boomich, when he has a good games and he just plays sandbags every round and he gets all his kills, they're basically impossible to beat with that much map control, with how aggressive he wants to play. When he doesn't, it looks bad. And now ZywOo gets activated as well. Yeah, he takes a couple of tags on the way out, but he's fine. They have the man advantage. He still has the upper hand. Stiko half dodges this flash, gets the kill on Kyojin. That's a pit anchor down. Halls is under threat now. FPX will move in quickly. They've also taken top Banana control as well. So even though ZywOo got away with his life earlier on, they've gotten a huge amount of compensation here.
That was a big drive-by from Stiko.
Oh!
And Apex gets deleted as well.
What is this? A B player over on the A site. First dead with Shox in pit. Will they know?
Yeah, ZywOo's making his way over with the AWP. His scope has been heard, and he's going to get wrecked. That leaves Shox in the pit with much to do. Maybe not expecting him here. He's got an angle now. He can buy some time for Masuta. That long smoke. Oh my God, Shox! Oh. Classic vintage Shox now. Masuta's turn to creep through the smoke, but Stiko has the angle, and it's an ace from Stiko. Absolute beast from the apartments to drive by to start things off. A man who, when he left Mousesports, a lot of people were thinking, I don't think he's the problem and so on, and he's proving to be one for Vitality on Inferno.
Back in those days, He was the hardcore support player for Mouse Sports, never got his credit. And I interviewed him a couple weeks ago in that YouTube video you haven't watched yet, James. And I asked him about this, and he said when he switched to Cloud9, he was going to demand more respect because he knew he was a better player than he was on Mouse Sports.
Yep.
But at the time, he was playing with players like Robs, Oscar. He couldn't get those spots. And now he's reinvented himself. Acing versus Vitality, key player on that round. A lot more to show. Trades go back and forth here with the mid push. And it's hard to say who comes out on top.
Vitality fighting fire with fire. ZywOo out there looking for jewels. Pop flash. Maiden just about avoids it, and there's the two-man swing afterwards. That is quite the way to... Oh my god, I got no time to even talk.
That was icy.
The B-bomb site has been taken, and Stiko is looking for more. Kyojin in the red. Kyojin dead, shot through the barrels.
They just take both sites. There's not really any room to rotate. ZywOo's just... He doesn't even have a safe place to save. Stiko was just seen here, and oh my god, he's re-hunting down ZywOo coming towards the pit. This is insane. He literally was just in lane. Will ZywOo be aware of Stiko? Okay, he gets caught off. But this is information that's forced now. ZywOo's going to get hunted down from the side.
Gratuitous violence, parental advisory. My god.
No way you said gratuitous. This is the UK pronunciation. Say gratuitous. Garage. Start saying garage.
Garage.
That's so strange.
Maybe it is gratuitous. I mispronounce things on a regular basis.
Huh. Okay. Well, I don't know.
I can't be. I can't be.
It's impossible to Google too, I think. So we'll just have to let it be a mystery. One of the great mysteries.
Well then, ZywOo and Vitality had a good run of success, but Stiko is dismantling them psychologically, physically. Great use of utility, attention to detail from FPX. Not looking to get caught by a number of Vitality players. It will be them who abuse the numbers, top mid. Pistols and a scout for Vitality in round number 10.
Damn, they come with a different level of force. It's like these cross flashes to the top of mid and the fast peek instead of the slow shouldering from both sides. The triple peek comes out from the CT side, but the Ts are equally ready there, covering both sides over towards the copy. Stiko doing a great job from Halls. Everybody getting kills, and yeah, FPX have come by force.
I can see how it would be a problem if you want to play a role that Rops is playing. Because you ain't going to play that role.
You can't.
It's not happening.
Yeah. You're not going to beat Robs at anything. So. Yeah, that's the hard part. But he also had everybody on his team on Mouse Sports. It was just such a stacked lineup individually. It was just tough. So he ended up being one of the 2 role players on the roster. But yeah, came off onto his new lineup, said I'm going to take some more star player positions, and he's been doing great in them.
Maiden now feeling a little more bold as he heads towards Banana. ZywOo will avoid the usual grenades in a very unusual position with the AWP. Vitality with a plan towards Banana, expecting this to be contested as part of the default. Not sure if he's been seen just at ZywOo, but FPX surely wondering what the makeup of this team is. See Masuta looking to pop out at any time. There's the elevation. Oh, what has happened there?
He switched his gun.
Was that on purpose?
No, he switched before he shot. I think he was just a mechanical failure there, and oh, they just get desperate. Oh, they know how bad it gets if they let him through, and yeah, they were definitely correct. They needed to do something. As Apex just throwing something on the wall to see what sticks. I think he just quick switched before shooting.
In that position?
Just an accident. You don't ever do that? I mean, I never seen him do it, but I do
was
it all the
thinking,
time.
you know, like sometimes with certain mice, there's like a mouse wheel bug where your mouse wheel is kind of between 2 notches, and
yeah,
when you
but
click
most
mouse
people
1,
are...
it switches.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I was wondering because I was like, what?
Okay, but
maybe he just did QQ.
I mean, I don't know if he uses mouse wheel to jump. I hope he does.
Yeah. How much does it hurt you that I'm a spacebar master race?
It's fine. I can sit beside you. It's fine.
Do you know what though? I go on a B-hop server. I'm like, oh.
You're gonna break
not
your
B-hop
thumbs,
server,
man.
like a KZ server.
Yeah.
And when it's a B-hop map, like I'll get at a certain point, and I have to
You're gonna take a
acknowledge
break.
that I have got to give up at some point.
You're gonna get a callus on your thumb.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It's a health risk.
Well then, 4 rounds on their CT side vitality of Inferno. FunPlus Phoenix are looking strong, and it's great to see. I think the players deserve it. Not one just yet, but they're in a good spot, and I'm sure Cyber's got to be frustrated with that engagement with the AWP. Down he goes. Just running away now. Running back to the Jars of Honey in the Vitality office. The full spray. Look at the harassment.
One thing I think is really important is that, you know, you get so many, you get the 120 bullets every single round, and you get them back whether you use them or not.
Right.
And it's free.
I'm not buying magazines anymore.
And everyone knows they're on the map. So sometimes sitting behind a smoke, use some bullets to spam. You know these angles like the back of your hand. And you know these timings really too. The smokes aren't really walls, so spraying through these smokes and all these different key positions, it's important for the damage that wins you the rounds. Sometimes it's going to get you the kills.
Note the elevated bomb plant you're seeing there, just for those of you at home. If you plant on top of the coffins like that, if somebody's in construction trying to spray you, you have some protection from the wall. Whereas if you plant on the floor, then you can be sprayed through the coffin. So that's a detail that people may miss at home, but it's definitely one to try.
Feels like every time someone's coming up behind the smoke and CT spawn, like people are always, they're always missing these shots now. Like, well, like, you know, versus the planter on coffins, they'll like go up to construction against the wall and then like try to line it up, and they're always off by a bit. And I always wonder, like, how much are people practicing this? Because it feels like it's a very important spam to get 100% right. Not that I practice it, but they should.
Yeah, right. Actually, that bomb plant needs a little practice because it's a little awkward. If you're not used to planting up there, you need to know where the edge is, if you will.
On the coffins.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like
awkward.
that.
It's awkward. Yeah.
It's like that BM plant on Dust 2 on the A bomb site where you plant
on top of the single box. Yeah,
because some people will do it.
That one's so gangster.
Yeah, but some people will do it for bad plant where the guy can stand behind the box and defuse it.
Yes.
So you got to make sure you're doing it properly.
Yeah. You used to be able to, you know, do with the jumping scout, the peak of Counter-Strike games. You could jumping scout from CD spawn. So that plan was so good.
Oh my God! There's nothing going their way. Continuation spray from Madden, and Masuta will answer in kind. All right then. Well, that's pretty good. They take Banana and leave only 3 T players. That is quite the handicap for FPX moving forward. So I'm taking chunks, but again, they have Banana. Now maybe reading a faster response. I will be left towards B, but there'll be 3 on A for Vitality. They could be ready for this.
They're so good. They're ready. Surely Stiko can't get another 2 kills from here. Double setup it up at Arch.
They don't respond. They don't fire back. They're not telling them that they're there.
He's trying to bait him into coming through Cubby. Oh, wow, Kyojin. Nice shot.
Standing on a bicycle. We're in the circus now. Leaving Stiko in the apartments. You know where he has been, where he's likely to be, where he's caused him so much trouble. You can try to make it expensive.
Yeah. Just such an unlikely situation. Yeah. The amount of utility left over, I mean, it was just very smart from Vitality. And FPX tried to move quickly into taking over top mid control, but we had Zaiwu, you know, with a really important smoke down to the bottom B and, like, had eyes on it right away. So his teammates were fully comfortable. They got super comfortable on A. And this is like a ridiculous opening shot, but a more important couple of refrags there from Masuda. Immediately rotating over back to the other side.
Vitality have a chance for 7, and maybe that'll be enough. Maybe 5 is enough. This CT side seems to be more of a curse than a blessing for the French squad. Oh my God, 3 grenades and Shox is on 6 HP. Molly's coming their way as well. Look at all the junk being thrown by FPX.
Yeah, the double Molotov sandbags. Last volley gets missed. This one's for Zaiwu. Leaves it open, but Masuda dies in his stead. Zaiwu gets back, and Apex feels the need to have to fight. So much damage here done to the CTs. He pushes over. Head chopped off from Farley. Godflash comes in. They're coming in fast for the execute. Emmy to lead the charge. Zaiwu back in the pillar. Opportunity to get another kill. Pushing from CT spawn. Kyojin last alive, so far away from the action. 1 on 3, and after that huge nade dump, it ends up working out splendidly here for FPX.
That was awesome to watch. Again, we saw late rounds towards the end of Dust 2, when Zywoo was lurking in mid, then they dealt with him. They threw that molly and so on. That was amazing to watch. And I feel like they've just pulled this one out of the hat towards the end of the half. So much junk thrown. Vitality were lucky to have that many players alive before they even saw the first FPX player. Absolutely dumping the truck on B.
Yeah.
And the money's not going to be amazing. Zywoo's got $200 and he is 5 for 11.
That was so uncomfortable. They were clearly like, all right, we're going to really double down on this and say, we think you want to fight for banana this time around, but you're not gonna throw more nades than us. So you can try to fight, but we're going to make sure you get hurt for this. And Vitality really didn't have that many HEs either to do some damage to them while they were on banana. This is interesting. It was really a one-way battle and a great opening kill from Emmy as well. That just takes the edge off in a huge way. As soon as you get that opening kill, the next player starts making an even worse mistake to try to make up for it. And FPX has been really good at punishing the refrag most of the time. I think that shows in the scoreline here. 9-5. Last round at 2 ops in, 1 for Shocks. Definitely a great hybrid opper. Not sure if that op is necessarily needed from what we've seen in this game over on the A site. But certainly 1 on B makes sense.
Angle's being taken away once again. So he wants that early kill. He wants to get aggressive, but he has little choice but to move away. Baited, forced from his position. And look at this response. Look at the rotation from FPX. All those Molotovs, they won't hear the rotation of these T players. And now it's going to be a 4 versus 2 into the A bomb site if they can go fast enough. The smokes towards mini pit and so on. We can see Shocks moving up that long position now, which has been left open to some degree. Catches the bomb carrier, and there's no Trey looking for the third one, but Farley will take the angle and position. Apex moving towards Library. No commitment just yet from FPX. Stiko normally lurking in the apartments. He is dead, and Maiden will ring the bell of Apex, but not quite finish him off. Farley now, 1 versus 3, considering his options. He has 34 seconds and the bomb, looking for a 1v1. You can see Masuta's in the Library spot. Shows a bit of elbow, and that will bring Zywoo back from the B bomb site, but again, he could race there, Farley. So it'll be another 1v1 opportunity on A. Masuta looking in CT spawn, but where is Monsieur Apex? Under the balcony. Can Farley find a safe on position? Oh, he'll be lucky to at this rate. Apex will find the gap, and there it is. 6 rounds for Vitality, a very difficult CT side for them. All credit to FPX. We'll see who is going to win the second half after the break.
What's good?
What score do you reckon? 2-0 or 2-1?
Oof. It feels like the 2-0 is. It feels like it's coming.
Really?
It feels like it's coming.
It does. I mean, yeah, that's undeniable. I think. Oh, I almost threw my chair away.
And FPX were the better team in that half.
Yeah.
They became the better team on Dust 2 for sure.
Yes, they're growing
luck
with power.
involved.
They're growing with power. Like Ares, the more attrition there is, the stronger they become. That's Ares, right? I think it is.
That's about right.
Oh my days. We have a pistol round similar to the one we saw in the first half. Headshots all over the short position. Or late as the North Americans call it.
No CTs there. On B, excuse me.
Defuse kit has been collected by Stiko, and
smoke.
Off they go.
They're going to wait for it, though. They do. A very difficult round now. Oh. Apex planning front of quad. I thought his teammate maybe had the bomb there. But a very good plant spot nonetheless. Apex pushing into construction. I mean, just late wandering off into there. Did he not expect someone to rotate over?
They could have had the classic Heat and Posse setup, but no, it would just be the Shoxy setup. 1 versus 2 with a P250.
Oh my god.
Shaving the ear hair of Maiden, but he can't land between the ears, and that means the pistol goes the way of FPX.
There's no guarantee they win, but I mean, come on. We got to expect the rotation, the first natural rotation to be there through construction. So Apex maybe, I think, anticipated Shox had or didn't realize he had the bomb, thought Shox had it. And that didn't really play off his teammate. Of course, if he got into construction, it would have been a great spot, but a little bit too slow once the plan happened.
Semler will be happy because FunPlus Phoenix have won both pistol rounds in this game of Inferno.
Yeah.
So that is that's a huge indicator as well for success, generally speaking. Statistically speaking, shout outs to Petar from HRTV. Oh my days, I've got to stop saying that now. I've said that a lot of times in this series. It's a big headshot from Apex. We've seen some really violent frags.
I know, it's been crazy, some of these.
It's a natural reaction.
There's a lot of clotheslining going on.
Absolutely.
I don't even watch WWE, but that's something I got from there.
JBL style. Clothesline from hell.
Yep.
He's an arsehole.
It's like their brand, though, isn't it?
No, but he genuinely was.
Oh,
so
like
I guess like,
yeah,
when he was a wrestler, yeah, they would describe him as a stiff wrestler, where he would just like actually smash you in the face.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not very nice. What the hell?
No, he was a bit of a bully. In go Vitality, looking to bully the players on the B bomb side, but Emmy has something to say about this. How long can he stay alive for? There is a rotation towards construction. Maybe he stayed alive for long enough because Maiden is in position to trade the kill. The exchange will continue. Zen now spraying the bombs by the smoke as well. What is that from Masuta?
Nobody stop him. There's going to be another one coming, isn't it?
They're faking the plant. They're looking for Stiko to reveal himself, but he is smarter than that in the smoke.
Masuta's like young Shock sometimes with these frags.
I think he heard a footstep from Zaiwu there.
Yeah, but the plan is safe. He could spam, but that would reveal his position. Masuda, another clean headshot. We're going to have to get that package. I think we saw it from everyone else's perspective.
Really tight angles on some of these kills and really narrow margins as well. Well, it will be the reset, and that's a huge round for Vitality. They really had to win that one. Nasty, nasty frag from Masuta.
Just disgusting. Again, best performer over on Dust 2 as well. What more does he have to give? I honestly don't believe at this point that Vitality are the better team than FPX, at least today. And they're going to have to lean on that high individual ceiling that they have. I think, without a doubt, they have a higher individual ceiling. But, you know, it's always great in Counter-Strike that we can talk about the fact that the better team should win. And I think this is a really good example. FPX have a lot to be proud of. And provided they don't make the same mistakes, which I think were letting go of B control or losing B a bit too early yesterday versus NIP, and then struggling to come through with the retakes or being organized about how they retake, if they don't make those mistakes, I feel very good about their odds of winning this map. But this is a crazy heroic round for Masuda. Somehow after that, gets relegated to the MAC 10, but also can go on a shopping spree after this with the MAC 10 kills that he gets, knowing that they're saving. Nobody's got head armor except for Madden, the one man to stop Masuda. Will be in the right spot at the right time. Default here for Vitality. They throw some initial grenades to stop any B aggression.
Ooh. Opening kill from Farley.
And maybe the most important player to die.
Don't want to be losing that rifle for free. That's a lot of damage taken by Kyojin. He has to be careful. There are 5 dangerous weapons on the server. Let's not forget that 5-7 as well. Massive armor penetration.
Got you, boss.
Disgusting up close. You can see Zen jiggling. He does not want to take a fight in this position. That's pure information from him. Some pre-fire from Apex. So Pop Flash, just having a quick look then, staying alive though, and have a look at the radar. We can see FPX making their way towards that CT spawn position. Then trying to buy time for that rotation. Not sure if there are sound cues to be heard. Stico in the apartments once again. Farley through the smoke with 2. This is a catastrophe for Vitality. Stico with the high ground as well, tagging in graveyard position, just buying some more time. Oh. It turns around though.
Yeah.
It really does. But look at the combine. They've got 7 HP together.
Oh, it's crazy.
If a rifle or anything is collected by FPX, just make it a little easier to land that one shot, then my God. Oh dear. Farley's picked up an AK-47 and a second one. They've really got to be fast on the trigger finger here. Vitality. I've got more fingers than they've got HP together. Apex with a super tight angle, and there's Tico. He has no idea where Shox is though. This is going to be close. He needs to get his skates on because he does not have a defuse kit. Will he check the graveyard position though? Shox really waiting. So much pre-fire. Oh, these rounds are so nervous for Vitality, but they just about survive.
They organize into a really, really nice post plant there, and they make it tricky. It comes down to, do they get the first bullet off? If they do, they can win, obviously, and they do with those positions. But Shox doesn't get in the graveyard. I honestly think they lose. So that's very nice. And we can walk by the fact that James just said he had 16 fingers and talk about how nice that post plant was from Vitality, because now they're within 2 of tying it up.
They had 7 HP.
They had 7 and 8 HP.
Wasn't it 3 and 7? I mean 4. Shut up! Can't believe you've done this.
I didn't do anything.
Well, we've got another big investment from FunPlus Phoenix. They'll leave money in the hole in Farley's wallet for the AWP to come. But they're looking to continue the conversation with Vitality, let's say. Looking to parlay.
Oh. This was the tricky part here. Whenever it came to interactions with the smoke at top car coming into the site, FPX almost always got caught off guard in some way. But of course, this isn't a round. They're not supposed to win this round. So, oh, I think he saw a leg, but I don't know, man. It looked like Shox almost played with that information himself. Came back just to make sure.
At this point, I think FPX are depending on a timely smoke grenade. But they've got Shox. He's the information man. He does not have much to lose here with the MAC-10. He can investigate the A bomb site and see if it's clear. Pull that rotation away. Uncontested as he makes his way up towards the long position and onto the site. You'll see that everybody is probably on the B bomb site, and that is exactly the information Vitality needed. They need a breather. They need a more relaxing end to a round, and this one may be the one.
Space created here with the MAC-10. There's a couple of great things about it. It's just that you're more likely to take a risk when you have the MAC-10 for these pushes, and you're more than welcome to scout because you want those MAC-10 kills anyway. So picking a MAC-10 over an AK, it's not just like a smart choice. It's a lifestyle, honestly. And there's certain players that you
Sanji.
want. Sanji.
God,
exactly.
Sanji.
Almanac, you know what I mean? They love this gun, and it's a very important. It makes the rounds different since they have it. Everyone wants to be very protective of their AK and be careful, but sometimes you need to play like this, where if they get smoked out top banana, Shox is already halfway through Arch because he's fine to take a risk, and then opens up the other half of the map.
FPX on a hard eco now. So crucial Vitality reset them after that pistol round. Actually better Vitality win round 2 than round 1. As long as you get the consecutive, put the loss bonus in the bin. Maximum range from Shox, smart stuff. Takes the furthest away angle, and that keeps him alive.
Some people are mad about the fact that the Zeus does an instant kill when it does damage. I don't think that makes sense, though. What do you think?
What?
Like, it makes sense that the Zeus does do less damage if you're far away, right? But still does some.
It's a game, so sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It makes it balanced, otherwise it'd be overpowered.
Everyone shut up.
Yeah, shut up. What he said. He said it, not me.
Yeah, we said it.
4 rounds in a row from Vitality, and FunPlus Phoenix move into their buy round on the CT side. Folly will be wielding the AWP. It's been a quiet game for Zen. He had 0 kills for a long time. See if he can improve things now that he moves on to the CT side, and the grenades continue from FPX. And they're out of there before they take much damage, only to re-emerge even stronger with more HE grenades. Warning shots early in the first buy versus buy.
Oh, Farley. Oh, he's caught. Almost bounces out of danger.
Oh,
and
no.
then Zen comes in to just help out his buddy, get some compensation back, take over lane control. But there are 2 players there, and Emmy gets spotted pushing down.
Oh, it's the bomb carrier.
He can turn the corner, though, and he's out of dodge. He can get through halls, and it's all good for him. Oh, wait. Whoa, the bomb.
Oh, my God. Oh, my days. What's going on?
Onto the balcony.
Shocks on the run to the A bomb site. Just when he thought it was safe, I thought the round was over, but suddenly the bomb is spotted.
Oh,
the bomb site is surrounded. Zaibu with an off angle in the library. He won't be checked for surely by Maiden, but he's focusing on CT. There is a timing here, but Zaibu's got to get a kill here. Just about. That leaves a 3 versus 2. Emmy down to 30 HP, and that angle from Zaibu, it seems, will put a stop to things, but so many nervous rounds for Vitality here.
They're thinking fast, though. That was some really cool stuff. Mid-round-wise, that was very, very smart. I mean, I love how they just got the bomb into halls, and they didn't get the kill afterwards, but the idea was really cool, that player can actually now just fight if he wants to, and the bomb can still safely make it back into the site. And then they have the smoke go down on Moto specifically to draw attention away from Zaiwu. And it serves not only for Zaiwu to get a kill, but let's say Zaiwu died or there's more than 1 player there. The Moto smoke still exists, and it's still very valuable for them in the post plant. So super cool stuff here from Vitality to take another round away. And I feel like most of the time, at least I've been talking about FPX and the cool stuff they've been doing, and it really feels that Vitality have been, leaning on these faster rounds and individual skill, but now we're getting some cool tactics out of them too.
They have quickly strung a number of rounds together, Vitality, and they're suddenly in the lead. Maybe they'll win each other's map picks. Still early days here, relatively speaking. It's a good buy from FPX, mostly, considering the situation they were in at the end of the last round. Shocks now with the AWP starting to creep up. Very timely smoke grenade from Farley. He is Deagle only for now. Zen looking to catch a player hopping up. See if we have the silent boost.
You can't hold this forever because that smoke is down on the long haul. So he'll get into the boiler a little bit more comfortable. But it's all fake pressure here. They throw that Molotov on lane to get the opper back, if there is one. But people are disrespecting these lane nades all the time, and they have boiler presence. So now the rotation comes over to B. But the T's are pretty quick.
They are. The numbers are coming through. Maiden, look at the transfer. Maiden and Emmy combining. And Maiden's still alive for now. Needs a reload, though. Stico has rotated over as well, but he's got no support grenades, no flashes or otherwise. Does he go ahead of that Molotov to try and make a play? He's going to do exactly that, but Misuta will delete him. Stico through the smoke lands a headshot to Shocks. And look at the health on these Vitality players. They've been here before, but the guns are more dangerous now in the hands of FPX. Jump peeking from Zen, gives a free kill away. Stico looking to run after distraction, sees Misuta, knows where Apex is. He's got a headshot angle though. He just needs 1 more bullet, but can he find it? 19 HP, running out of bullets himself, Stico. He's got a defuse kit, and Apex is out of there. Now things become even more awkward. The flashbang, and surely he can't do this one. He's flashed himself as well. Oh, that was the peak from Apex, but he can't find it, and it's too late. Somehow Apex has escaped, and the round will go the way of Vitality, and it just continues.
My God, such an awkward duel. Neither of them could get any damage off. Apex only had 7 HP, but he was on the headshot angle, so it was, all or nothing. And yeah, Stico cannot land it. Even the shoulder peek at the end, maybe there's an opportunity to get the defuse off. So this is a bit of a flub here from Stico in the 1v1. There was Maiden who came through the side of the Molotov. It's calling him forward. He sees the gap. He's like, I want to run through this. It's going to be a timing. But that Fountain and the player on second oranges, he lives for an extra second, comes to, and deals with that fight easily. So I actually think that this is one of those specific moments where FPX were failing yesterday, where they'd actually have an advantage coming into a post plant, have a really solid hold at first, and things would still continue to fall apart. This is going to cost them a round, but also their economy. 12-10, looking at 13-10 in the face.
Yeah, it's the jump peek from Zen behind the smoke, getting killed for free after that. really made things harder. So close and yet so far. And that's been a number of these rounds that Vitality have won. Yeah. They've won them by a reasonably small margin, but they've won all of those situations. And suddenly the pendulum has changed in their favor. But now they've lost 2 players to this pistoling side, and they really need to combine and clear out a bomb site quickly without further losses.
Crazy. Everybody has been throwing this smoke this way, where they leave a crack on the inside by Banana. And it's always worked out for the CTs. I can't understand how it's been so one-sided, because it's pretty obvious that people are doing it now, but it's working.
Yeah, the CTs further away will have a slight advantage. We see a heavy execute now, but we have a player boosted up who will be a problem, and that's Emmy. Not even falling off. 5 versus 2 versus Pistols. But again, there is enough firepower here to do something about it. That swiftly changes with Stico now. Jiggling, falling away. Shox trying to thin the numbers out before he has to plant the bomb, and he has bomb plant pressure. It's inside the fountain as well. Could barely be more awkward. Tagging from CT, tagging from the coffins. Down they go. We'll see how many rifles can be collected here. 2 at the very least.
Yeah, great work staying annoying, and they bring it back. It was going to be a tragic round, actually, if they lost that, because, 13-10, and I still don't even know if they had enough money. So they get the full-on win bonus now, up in hand, plus they were saving. This recovers things completely. Totally changes the story. Now, on the other side of things, for Vitality, they're still fine. They've got lots of money to invest, and they can even op up if they'd like to, even though that's not necessarily the prerogative on T side. Inferno, specifically. So, instead they'll save money, go into the full rifles, spread out. What's the game plan? It's kind of a mental reset for both teams after that. This really could have just been a tragic loss for FPX. That actually couldn't have been more crucial.
Seems that Vitality for now are done eating grenades on Banana, and they will not contest it. Vitality not too bothered with the silent boost into the apartments. There was a man standing on a barrel, but they not too bothered really.
Yeah, this actually is a really strong start for Vitality for that exact reason, because we see how much utility FPX have already committed to taking and doing damage on Banana, whether or not they take control of it. They've got 1 Molotov left here and 1 smoke now at a minute on the clock versus 4 Molotovs, 3 smokes, and an HE, 2 flashes as well for Vitality.
It seems they've learned to respect that smoke. Farley makes his way back towards the A bomb site as the grenades start to stream in. Everybody in the apartments right now for Vitality. They've got 45 seconds on the clock. No more lurker towards B either. We see Shox make his way in. FPX are not really clear as to what exactly is going on. The question is, for me, can Farley get 2 from this position?
Yeah, that's tough. They're going to have resmoke into... Yeah, there's not even a shot here for him to take. It's going to be blind. Probably no retake possible here as Farley drops him 50 shots through the smoke. Zen on the hold, grabs 2, perfect multi. He's got the cover of Graveyard and another player coming up on his side, but they deal with him. He doesn't go for another peek. Pick control taken over, bomb down, and again, no retake grenades besides these 2 flashes.
But the smokes have gone already. Kyojin playing the headshot angle, trying to draw them in. You can see the pit angles being held. So Apex, if he peeks, he's going to get deleted immediately. Indeed, he will be. Down to the pistol now, maybe, for Farley. If there's 1 versus 1, Kyojin looking for those taps. He starts to move to the side. What a swing. What a headshot from Kyojin to put Vitality on 13. That was beautiful.
It's not often you're seeing Kyojin in these 1v1s, but that looked like a moment where he's very comfortable. Of course, Farley didn't cross as far as he thought he would, but his aim carried it over the line. That was a beautiful headshot through the box. And obviously all 3 kills in the post plan as well. Can't forget about that. Vitality, hard-earned 24th round there to keep this 2-round gap and to keep their foot on the neck of FPX. Money's low.
Yeah, these rounds are so close, but again, Vitality winning all but 1 of them. And it was versus the Pistols, that uncertainty, that anarchy.
It's like you said, so many close situations, but Vitality just slightly better each time.
Hello. Thank you for the Desert Eagle, for the AK rather, says Farley. Shocked to not be saying thank you for the Desert Eagle. Receives it in an unpalatable fashion, let's say.
I mean, he's so good-mannered, he'd probably say thank you.
Yeah. Well then, plenty of presence shown on Banana. The noise is suddenly cut. Are you going to go? Looks like it is a full commit here. 4 players. Got a counter grenade, but how about that for some spray? Apex finds 2 through the smoke, and it's just FPX seem cursed in this game of Inferno. It's nothing going their way whatsoever.
Man, that was the stray bullet through the smoke to coffins, of all things. That was actually pretty fortunate. The first one, you know, I can understand. He's specifically trying to cut this angle off. Getting both, I mean, that can make a world of difference. Look at the health. I think James has almost as many fingers as Apex and Kyojin have HP.
I hope not. Maybe in a year or two from the vaccine. Well then, I mean,
Is this it?
Vertigo may be on the way.
Yeah, at least they'll have the 3 alive here, 6-5. But they lost 2 MP9s last round. They just don't even have enough for rifles here. I don't know. I don't think anyone can drop rifles. Oh, actually, no, they can. They can. They're actually fine. Guess neither of us can do math.
Little more damage on FPX, on Vitality, sorry. Oh, man, it's what a bizarre half of
look at this
Counter-Strike. It's absolutely crazy.
Mercury's in retro.
But I mean, Apex put himself in a position to win, and he got the 2 kills. What can you say?
True, yeah. So the thing about like smoke spams and timings, if it happens all the time,
yeah,
he's
looking for it. That's what he's looking for. He got what he's looking for. So while there is an element of chance there, he's created it for himself, and he will benefit from the results. Well then, a big risk taken by FunPlus Phoenix as in a half where not anything has really gone their way, and it continues in such a fashion as Vitality storm towards Vertigo.
They're already getting desperate. I think the irony is that they didn't really need to make a desperate play. They just needed to tighten up a bit in their more simple stuff, whether it comes to their B holds. But I think Vitality, they found the perfect game plan right here. They made FPX very uncomfortable. And it's crazy. It feels like FPX are this close to turning their Inferno into a really, really strong map, but there seems to be the CT side issue, at least from the small sample size of maps they've played here at Flashpoint.
AWP lurking in that short area. And Vitality start to emerge towards B. Zen looking for info top mid. Doesn't see anybody there, but, well, we'll see that rotation now from Stiko and Zen towards the B bomb site. But it seems that it will be A, so Farley will be on an island. 1 versus 5, it's looking like.
Yeah.
These grenades will tell a story, but they're so deep in this B bomb site, FPX, that I can't see much happening. Hold on a second. Emmy's gone through the smoke on Banana. They are trying to race forward, but that Moto smoke, the library smoke, is appearing. Oh boy, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's got a lot of food on his plate.
Scopes in, we've got to push, that's the bomb. That's the bomb! Someone's got to go back and get it. 13 seconds. Emmy appearing now. Disaster is here. Apex faking the plant. We've got a double peek coming through, but he's not ready! The trade is here from Emmy. Oh my god.
They had to run through the smokes, and they had to have Emmy run all the way on the flank and commit. They made a mistake there with the gamble stack, but they immediately made up for it with they basically admitted their mistake quickly, right? I think they didn't commit to the gamble and say we'll save and go for match point. They defend against it by just making a really fast mid-round call and taking the risks, but taking them together. Emmy's here, 2 CTs coming through the smokes. Yes, tactically Vitality were perfect. They threw their flash on B, got up to A quickly, didn't get fast flanked right away, but FPX were right on their tails. That was such a close situation, but finally one that goes the way of FPX. Funnily enough, around where you wouldn't call them the better team up until that point, but they still manage it. Tons of money here for Vitality. Really, no sweat off the brow. 1v1 for FPX means they maybe will have to make a concession in something. Looks like they have pretty good grenades overall, though.
You can see the frustration on the face of Stiko. Spoke about him not showing much emotion earlier on, but we can definitely see some now. A very frustrating half of Counter-Strike for them. Haven't got any consecutive rounds in this half, but now's the time to do it because the money is starting to get a little low for Vitality. We're seeing that deep smoke grenade. Didn't really see this from Vitality's side, but from FPX we will. Kyojin by the tree. He may have some issues coming his way. Molotov and a HE grenade. I miss the days when you could be boosted into the tree. Stiko starts to head towards the A bomb site now. Vitality playing a slow round. Round 27. You can see the bomb heading towards the apartments. Will it be a horse pop? Zen is on the balcony with an MP9 at present.
Wow, this is an interesting call. They get the rotation. Look at the rotations. CTs are panicking right now. Meanwhile, the farthest extremity of the map's getting pushed. Stiko with a very smart incendiary just in case. This might be one hell of a read. CT start to get more comfy within the site. And Stiko, look at him, man. He is just fully well aware of what's actually happening with no B attack coming.
Oh,
Farley, though.
He's gone too deep on the first one, and he's been dropped. Stiko will just about drop Masuta. Hasn't seen the bomb just yet, which is on Panada. That's a huge headshot from Kyojin. This one is all over the place. Teams trying to outmaneuver each other, but the numbers are falling for FunPlus Phoenix. Maiden now popping out from the tree. We've got a flying shocks with the Mac-10. And this may be the end of the line for FunPlus Phoenix.
Man, Stiko was the man with all the secrets. He had the bomb codes right there. The way that he played that was clear. He was so prescient about what exec was coming. Even though there was all that pressure towards B and his teammates left him, he Molotov hauls off. He dropped that one-way smoke on lane, walked around it to get the kill. He basically had all of the good information, but every single piece died around him, even after he got the one kill.
So many things happening, so many different things happening in that round. That was really fun to watch. So misses the shot, and FPX will not hold anything to bring into what could be the final round of Inferno.
That was looking like such a perfect round from Vitality, and they still won, but they had to make a last-second adjustment because of some of the utility that came through. You know, Farley dying there could have been it could have been the world for FPX if he got that. If he held down the op and didn't actually overextend into mid and stayed back, they were going to come towards him in Arch. But he got the memo a little bit too late. A mixed buy with the Deagle and CZ in hand for FPX. They've still got a lot of utility, and they have done it with just Deagles in the past. So we can't write them off just yet.
Yeah, these are the weirder rounds. Farley could be in trouble now. They need to get a trade frag here, but he knows they're looking for it. Masuta now closing down a distant grenade for Farley. He'll not have a chance. Storming through, only 2 of the 4 players as the bomb is still on the ramp. 2 of the 3 players, rather. The bomb is T-ramp waiting for something to be secured, but how does he make it there? Stiko now on the A bomb site, dancing with Zaiwu. He's ready for Emmy to swing. The game sense of this man is just at maximum levels. Maiden now wondering where the bomb carrier is. Looking towards the apartments as Zaiwu stands on the A bomb site.
Couldn't be farther away from the B site at this point, so even if he kills Zaiwu right away, it's just going to be a long round, an unlikely retake, and this is where his stomach drops over in pit knowing it's B.
It is a long run. I'm not sure if there's a defuse kit in this round, so he's going to have so much to do. Could be caught with utility as well. We've got a quick jump peek from Apex. Doesn't see much of anything, but he'll certainly get the sound cues soon. Oh, he's going to get caught with a grenade in his hand. Oh, and now there is the chance. It is on. Zaiwu is going to have to make a play here. He's got to hold on to the bomb, though. Oh, dear. That's going to be it. That's going to be the game right there. That Molotov completely covering the bomb. Absolute 0 chance for Maiden. 16-12 for Vitality. They take Inferno, winning so many narrow rounds versus FunPlus Phoenix, who've got to be frustrated at the way they were on the receiving end of all of that.
I know. It was just a great match. You know, you call yourself saying, oh my days all the time because of the amount of ridiculous trades that were coming through, and it feels like there's going to be no shortage of that. So overall, it's been fantastic to watch. Thought FPX were going to close out there, but now I don't know what happens on map 3.
It gets technical when we head to Vertigo, but before that, it will be the thoughts of the desk on that second map of our series. We'll see you after the break.
A bounce back from Vitality and when they need it most. 16-12 for the Frenchman as the ship is now sailing towards our of Vertigo. And what a bounce back it was from Vitality. We saw FPX having a really strong start to this map. Similar, both pistols yet again, but it seemed like the pistol
a lot of resilience on that T side there, which is what you would expect from a championship caliber team, a team that has taken home so many trophies in the last 365 days.
And you highlight one of the names here, Semler, topping the scoreboard with 30 kills, Apex. He really made a massive bounce back from what we saw on that first map. And in terms of his impact with some of these kills as well, it wasn't just cleaning up these eco frags, huge impact in terms of his kills on the server.
Indeed. And Misuda right up there. It wasn't a fluke that first map. He is definitely feeling it. Individual performance from him is looking solid, and Vitality are going to need it. Zywoo, again, Inferno, I mean, we were kind of laughing about that, weren't we? Right? It's like a legitimate strategy to just pick Inferno because, you know, it's like, well, Zywoo...
The avoid Zywoo strategy goes even into your map vetoes as well. Yeah, he hasn't had a good time, but this also adds to the stat that I threw in kind of during the betting round where now... Since the beginning of 2020, there have been 53 maps where Zywoo has gone negative, and Vitality's only won 8 of them. Now 3 of them are against this Godsend core. Somehow it's like he doesn't need to do anything, and the other players on Vitality are finding counters for FPX.
Yeah, FPX also just really helping out. I mean, Fairleigh put up a fight. Fairleigh had his rounds, Stico as well, but it felt like overall they were in their own heads, and the whole thing. The reason why I say that is, we're just watching. I really wish we had a cam back there actually, because it's getting pretty entertaining. We're actually getting really invested in this match, and so it's just live analysis, but. The fact that you can just throw 2 nades in Banana and the entire team rotates to B, and you're like, please, why are you doing that, FPX? Like, why every time they hear a mouse squeak, they're like, oh, it's going to be a B rush, go! No, stop. The over-rotations were crazy.
But I think that's the crazy thing. We're looking back onto this first half, and it was going so well for FPX. We saw particularly our round 14, which we're going to bring up as a highlight. Vitality were really struggling to be getting onto those bomb sites.
Vitality, especially, well, to start with the first half when they were on the CT side, they just looked desperate for answers. They had no options, and if we play round 14, we'll see that they were just kind of throwing themselves at whatever FPX had. So we'll see that FPX dominates the banana control early in this round. Good utility from them to force these players off the angle. They take down Masuda as he's trying to contest, but these mollies are separating Vitality, and Apex here going for what is more or less a dry swing into everybody from FPX, so he dies, and then the remaining Vitality players on the site have no answers at this point. The exec is coming out, and they're not long for this world.
No, the banana play, and it actually looked up really good on this in the second half as well. I mean, as the rest of this round plays out, I mean, FPX really just kind of locking Kyojin out of this one, and that's the end of the day. But the banana play was really good from FPX as well, on both sides, it felt like, because they started strong. They used the similar strategy that they used against NIP yesterday, where they put 4 towards B very early on and kind of stagger the nades. So you keep thinking, like, oh, no more HEs, right? They've thrown 2. Oh, surprise, here's a 3rd one and a 4th one later on, and somebody gets blown up. They kept getting opening kills in banana with those HEs. It's just they were unable to follow up on that, because then they spread out. Somebody makes a noise on one of the sites, they over-rotate, and again, Apex, he was just in their heads the second half.
Yeah, I do want to highlight a player that we were talking about from the FPX side of life. It was Mud, and you were saying you were hoping that there was potentially more freedom for him, more freedom of movement for him from what we saw versus the Ninjas just yesterday. And in the first half, it was looking pretty solid for him.
Yeah, you could see that Modern in this game versus the NIP one, he was actually having a lot of impact at Banana. He was getting up, taking that space, and also he was able to, with that space, get into the B bomb site. It opened up that whole side of the map for his team, and because of that, FPX had such a solid T side. It just couldn't continue into the second half.
Yeah, do you see similar issues of what we saw versus NIP for FPX yesterday, considering we did see them playing the same sides of both maps in the same order, obviously going into the CT side today, only 2 rounds for the side of FPX, a lot less than we saw versus the Swedish squad yesterday. Do you feel like we saw similar issues coming out for FPX?
I think there was a lot of pressure. I think Semler put it well that some reason FPX, for their CT side, it feels like there's kind of a standard way that a lot of teams used to play on the CT side where they would take Banana, kind of have one player jump spot, play around the corner. We still see Boomich do it. We still see Flames do it for OG. There's always that kind of info guide towards that side. But FPX almost didn't do that. They kind of half trusted him, so they were always caught in rotation, like Semler was saying, and you can't really play like that. You look at the top teams in the world right now, Gambit and Heroic. When people are hitting their bomb sites, they're in their bomb sites ready to defend those sites. They're not caught in rotation, and FPX right now, they were caught in rotation constantly.
And a name that you were highlighting that you wanted to see a bit more from the Vitality side, Kirjan, and we saw that coming out in round 24, I believe, where he got a beautiful 3K to be sealing things off and really pushing Vitality towards the finish line.
Beautiful. It depends on perspective.
It depends on who you predict it.
I mean, I might have lost my voice just shouting at the TV here when this was happening, because you're just sitting here going, okay, trade, no trade, why no trade? And then all of a sudden it's a totally winnable situation for him where he has the advantage and just wings. So beautiful from Kyojin's perspective. Glad that, when left to his own devices, there you go.
And that's exactly what you were saying.
Doesn't have to worry about fitting into a system.
Yeah.
It's just, see heads, click heads. That's fantastic. He's really good at that. And so glad to see that in a moment like that, he was able to step up and show that to his team that he can clutch as well.
Yeah, exactly what you were saying in the pre-game segment, is how you were hoping to see Kyojin kind of integrating into the team, not forced into this role of RPK, who's, a way more experienced player when we just look at it like that.
Indeed.
Yeah. I think on Vertigo it's going to be an interesting test for him, though, because on his old teams he used to play towards that A side, that A ramp thing, and every team has a completely different way that they want to play it. Some want to do the deep smoke, some people want to kind of play more of a retake or back at the Ivy section. There's all these different procedures, and it's going to be pretty tough for him to integrate there if he's taking up that spot. So if he's playing his old position like he did on his ESEA main team, then it'll be hard. And so despite seeing that little highlight from him where he's able to pop off with aim, fitting into the Vitality system is still the biggest question.
And that's something that we don't know because we haven't seen Kirjan playing for this Vitality squad on this particular map. But something we do know is Apex was going absolutely lights out in the second map of the series, and it's great to get to see him having a bit.
Like he is actually trying to rein that emotion in a little bit, and he himself has acknowledged it plenty. He got a lot of criticism towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, from the community, and most likely, I assume, from his team as well, where they were like, dude, you need to chill. And to the point where he eventually got punished and had to take that break. He comes back from that, and it seems like he's made a real effort, because we haven't really seen him losing it too much in old Apex fashion. All those moments, right? So it seems like he's starting to come back into his own.
I'm curious from your perspective, Semler, if you think that an IGL, how on the emotional scale high should they be? Should they be the most emotional guy on the team, second most?
Least.
Yeah, what?
Least
emotional guy.
Yeah. I want my I want my IGL to just be chill.
You want the Stanislav.
He needs to be in control.
The guy that just
he needs to be in control of the situation at all times. No, I want existence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I want the guy who's in control of the situation. He has the read on the situation. He knows what's going on. He has a plan, right? That's the guy who says, okay, we're doing this, and you're not hesitating an instant. You're just like, right, we're doing that. Whereas, if the guy's freaking out every round, at one point you're going to be like, dude, chill. What's going on? You're clearly not in control if you let emotion bleed through that much. It's good to feel emotion every now and again. We're all human. You all feel emotion, but I don't think a leader should be showing that much emotion. I think a leader should be trying to keep it, or there are exceptions like Cadian, for example. I think knows how to hit that balance when it's time to pop off, show a lot of emotion, but then he brackets it back down again, and they get into the round, right? Letting it bleed into the round, I think, is when it really starts to hurt you, and I think that's what was happening with Apex towards the end there.
Well, something that might make you a little bit emotional, Semler. We've got Anders on the line to join us for a little bit of a breakdown of that second map. First of all, Anders, I want to know who you were siding with for this series.
Well, I mean, my pick, before the whole thing, and especially before I saw FPX play yesterday as well, would have probably just been Vitality right off the bat. But I feel like FPX have kind of won me over a little bit. I'm coming on board. I know you guys were, the analysts yesterday were hyping them up, and I was feeling doubtful, but I'm kind of becoming a little bit of a fan. I like what they're doing here. And Vitality have a problem that I'm kind of running into elsewhere in my life that's actually stripped me of all emotions. It's just left me void completely. And it's the cryptocurrency market. And I've realized that...
Wait, what?
Vitality are I think they're just foreshadowing the crypto market by about 3 months. Like, you know, they're really good, and then they're just like, they completely just crashed off a cliff, and, you know, that's exactly what's happened to my portfolio. And every time there's, like, a coin where I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. Like, you know, Kyojin, like, young superstar, Saibu, oh, it's just all red. And then I sell on Apex. I don't want any of that anymore. And then, boom, 30 kills. And, like, I just kind of don't know what's going on anymore. So I feel well prepared. I don't even care anymore. It's just fine, you know?
I don't even know what to make of that analogy. That's incredible.
Did you see Anders, did you see the Mr. Bean gif that was going around, you know, where he was sitting in the chair, you know, the veteran, just going along for the ride? That's you right now when it comes to French CS. Yeah. Okay.
So are you all aboard the FPX train as we head into Vertigo now, Anders?
I kind of am. I mean, for a number of different reasons. I think, and weirdly enough, Farlig wasn't actually one of the ones that were playing really well here on the second map, but I like his style anyway. I think he's like a cool player to watch right now. And I've got some nostalgic love for Emmy, because he used to be in iNation and all the rest of it with Yanko back in the day. And I just love that story all on its own. So, yeah, I'm on the FPX train.
Well, I think that is fair enough after the performance that we've seen from FPX. And we'll be checking in with you for our next game of the day as well, Anders. But thank you so much for joining us, man.
Appreciate it.
Always lovely to get to check in with Anders. But I also want to get your thoughts coming into the third map of this series. Because you had some question marks, Maui, as we were saying. Obviously, not seeing Kyojin really stepping into the server on this particular map for Vitality just yet.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen him step into the server for more than one map so far, really. I mean, he's only gone positive still, I think, once for Vitality, and Vertigo would be a great time for him to step up, but right now, I don't think I can look towards him. I don't think I can actually trust him at this point. If I'm rooting for Vitality, I need Zaiwu to pop off. I'm going to need Apex to try to replicate that performance, or at least give me 80% of what he had on the previous map, because we know Zaiwu's going to play a little bit better than he did on Inferno. If Apex can give 20 frags, you know, Shocks chime in with a clutch or two, I think Vitality really have a fighting chance here. But that being said, if I could switch my prediction, I might do it, because FPX have been pretty solid.
We ain't allowed flip-flopping up here, Maui. Don't get intimidated by Monty in the green room. I know he's watching. I know he wants FPX to win to make sure he doesn't get that forfeit. But somebody else definitely doesn't want to get the forfeit, particularly as we were talking about furries earlier, is James Bardoff. So let's throw on over to him and Launders for this final map of the series.
Some say it's a game of genetics. For James, it's a game of genes.
He's saying it's because I have just taken a delivery of genes.
I was trying to do a segue. We're not going to show them?
I suppose we can. It's a bit... No, we're not actually. No,
why not?
No.
Because
they're in plastic bags and stuff. And
could have taken them out.
This is an important map that we're going to see.
Whatever.
And I'm not really confident in either direction. This is a wide open game of Vertigo, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but for Maui, it's not time to flip-flop. Okay, we survived to map 3. If it was going to end for Vitality, it was going to end on map 2. I think they only get stronger now.
It will be the knife round to decide who starts where. Let's have a look at the knives, shall we?
Well, I put the jeans on my Instagram story, so you can find them there.
There you go. Follow Launders on Launders Money on Instagram. But yes, my jeans are in bags, so not really.
Because you said you ripped the crotch. Is that private information?
No, I always rip the crotch of my jeans because I take strides and I like to do lunges in coffee shops.
It's a weird hobby.
Because I'm chatting to the staff, you know, so I
yeah.
don't know, something just makes me want to do lunges.
I hate talking to people who are lunging, so it makes me feel uncomfortable.
What if they're lunging with a hole in their jeans?
Even more so then.
FunPlus Phoenix making inroads towards the A bomb site. There is a 3, maybe 4-man rotation from Vitality because Shocks was here alone. Not the case anymore though. All Kevlar for Vitality looking to frag out in this pistol round. And that's a great way to start things off. Shocks won't drop the bomb carrier, but Masuta will do even better than that. Zen being deleted also. This could be a good start to the CT side for Vitality, and indeed it will be with Apex finishing off the proceedings.
You picked FPX to win the game?
I did, yes.
How are you feeling for Vertigo?
Well, I think it's wide open. I think it's wide open.
Okay.
I looked at the stats from HLTV.
Yeah.
I think we have 2 recorded games for Vitality, and I think I want to say it was 10 for FPX.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had 67%. Oh, sorry, 3 maps. 3 maps for FunPlus Phoenix, 67%, which basically, I mean, who cares what the result is? 3 maps and 2 maps. The sample size is tiny.
It's tiny.
You can't really take anything away from that.
Could be 2 brand new teams here. Maybe it could come down to Kyojin again. Only 1 positive map KD for Vitality. not to sound dramatic, in the history of him being on the team. I think we're coming up on like 10 maps or something like that now, so still not super comfortable. But on the bright side, the one map was here at Flashpoint, so at least growing more and more comfortable.
A spicy, deciding map.
It is.
I'm really invested into our unicorn points. I don't want to lose, man. I mean, I'm unlikely to do that, but you know, when I want to secure. Vitality will look to do that on the A bomb side. The bomb's been dropped, and Cyber and Apex will hold position. Multiple headshots, mostly on the ramp. Farley now, question of damage. Patiently trying to get that headshot, as he does with the scout. Stico will at least help clean up. Vitality will take more aggressive positions as far as the bomb is concerned, but I think the focus for Stico may be even just trying to squeeze out one more kill.
What sticker is that on his deagle? I actually wondered. Is it a snack sticker or is it a Stico sticker? Or
I think it's a Stico sticker.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Don't recognize that one.
Sometimes they can look blurry on weapons.
It kind of looks like the old Envious. I don't know. But I mean, sure. I mean, if I was a player, it would just be my sticker on every gun, so I wouldn't be using other people's stickers.
Stico may be opting for a save here. He has full armor and a FAMAS.
Yeah. Will he get found? No.
Can't imagine it on this.
He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
I used to walk around buildings like this when I worked in commercial real estate. Nice.
Yeah.
Just to, advise on the best way to get value, depending on the layout, what you're doing and so on.
Marble countertops over here.
Put your toilets over here, so you've got the most working space over here, blah, blah, blah.
I can picture you in a hard hat.
It's not in a hard hat, it's just like, it's balancing on the top of my head because I've got a big head. So I always hated that part of it, but always fun doing that stuff.
The smokes counter here down the ramp. Forrest to try to take him, deny pressure, just bait out grenades if possible. Ooh, that's Stico coming up through the sandbags with a flash to assist as well. And Zywoo can only find one with the deagle, which means the rotations are going to be a bit slow, a bit uncomfortable. But Masuda, he does sneak around the corner. This is the most important part for him. Waiting, I think maybe him waiting for a flash as well to try to encroach on the A ramp, but the crunch comes in, trades go back and forth, and suddenly, in the blink of an eye, it is a 1v2 for Shox. But he can get the first kill quickly, and that dink was kind of fraudulent. Only does 36 damage through the metal bar.
He has Kevlar, and Farley doesn't, and that, I think, is the big difference maker here. But Shox now down to 9 HP, will be finished off by Farley. I think Vitality outstayed the welcome with the Desert Eagle there on the ramp. I don't know how much opportunity there was to fall away. They had to die on the sword there, that second player, but that was a big issue.
I thought that was actually benefited Shox, that his opponent might have called dinked. Because it looked like it could have just been a dink for like 90 damage or full damage, but it hit him through the metal. It didn't do that much. And Farley came up and ripped him up. I was like, what the hell, is he dinked or not?
Well, game on for FunPlus Phoenix. We can see the value in that saved FAMAS. Pop flashing Stico through the smoke and then following up with the pistols. Again, some patient shots with the P250. Fire it too fast and it goes inaccurate. Clear respect, it can go a long way. Down goes Zywoo. Seems there'll be more problems as the numbers are abused from FunPlus Phoenix. Deleting Apex, not even committing to this. There's no rush for them. They've got a minute 30 on the clock. They're 5 versus 3. They have utility. They can do a lot of, pretty much whatever they want.
Yeah, the time is big, but the rotations are so slow on this map. Now, the player advantage is enormous, but because everyone is so low, I, for some reason, feel like this could actually...
I feel the same way.
Yeah, though the CTs are just gambling, it looks like, towards B, so maybe they're overthinking it.
I think with the utility, they have 5 incendiaries.
Yeah,
FunPlus Phoenix. It's going to be, I think the nature of this map.
Sandbags twice.
Again, you don't have it's not as horizontal as other maps, especially towards this A bomb site. So I think that will help them hold area control with the mollies they have. And I think Vitality, they're in force buy territory. They can do this again if they keep the money together. So we'll see what they opt for. They are moving away from the B bomb site, so we'll see if it's for hiding or if they have more sinister intentions.
So that's why it's always good to pause in these moments, even when you have a player advantage, if you think the rotations are close enough, it always benefits you to pause, because if they push you all the way through, you punish the rotations, you punish the flash flanks, and you also open up the option that they might rotate out and gamble to the other side, just like we saw. So, and if they don't rotate at all, then it's still the same round than if you went fast. So a lot of the times it is just a smart idea just to sit and wait and see what they do, because your odds don't change very much from that position, and sometimes only get greater. Vitality save 3 again. So it's kind of interesting because they've lost a couple of rounds with three saves. They'll be able to recycle these guns. The kills right now obviously favoring FunPlus Phoenix on the A ramp in a couple of very close situations. And someone called these trades random, but if you look at a player like Alish, for example, on the A ramp on T side, you'll see how it's not that random. You have to be able to line up certain spams to deny pressure, because that's the nature of the map. It looks messy, but you get kills through these smokes by spamming certain positions and zoning your opponents and conditioning them to play certain spots and then spamming them in those positions. And if you're
by design,
if you're very good, yeah, you can get those kills a number of times.
Area control. Avoiding a molly, but they can't avoid giving sound cues, of course. They can be sprayed through here as well. But at some point they're going to have to get close around that corner. And that's where Vitality could be at play. Looking to re-aggress, but FPX have been patient. Here comes the charge. Zywoo dying on his sword to create some space, and we've got a 3 versus 3. Apex now looking to fall back, but he'll continue to be a nuisance until he's eliminated by Zen. Deep mollies on the short side now as Kyojin waits on the site itself. Got Shox being proactive of 35 HP. That may be limited to what he can do. Kyojin needs to be offered that that headshot. But FPX know that's a nice angle for him to re-aggress at a deagle. And they move away from it.
Oh, they didn't have an advantage, but they had an even situation at least. And then Apex gave up the pressure to go for another peek. And Shox is here on a timely flank, and he has to work hard for that kill, but Zen has no cover, and he's like in between switching grenades. So now it's a 2-on-2 again. Kyojin looks for a timing. Player on his right. Will he try to dive the plant? He'll get damage in. He doesn't get the kill. Kind of trying to control for the deagle spam, but his teammate is far enough away anyways.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kyojin, he's shooting the backpack, which is on the back of the player model.
Doesn't
there,
exist, yeah.
Which is not a hitbox at all. All the stuff that's hanging, it's purely the body. Like the CTs have got backpacks and so on. You have to ignore those. Shox does not have a defuse kit. Maybe he gets a rifle out of this.
Does he want to tap this, or? Honestly, if he just throws a smoke down, they might freak out, but all right. Yeah, I guess they'll just go for the tap. Or, oh, he's trying to hurt them before the bomb explodes. Tico's dead. No? Oh, he's going to the corner. Wait, I thought he did more damage than that from there.
Apparently not.
Oh. I thought we were going to have to see him jump off the building or something.
Late value play, not going the way that Shox might have liked. I mean, even if he doesn't want to play MP9, I think he has some Kevlar, right?
Default.
So,
yeah.
different strokes for different folks. He leaves Spawn with $400 in the bank, not picking up a defuse kit, which is interesting because there isn't a defuse kit on the team, and right now he's the only person who can buy one. So we'll see if that has a part to play in this round. Vitality avoiding the initial sprays we saw earlier on. All the usual smokes up towards the A ramp from a T perspective. Limits where Vitality can stand. Kyojin very committed here, and Seiko's ready for it. Oh, there could be trouble on the B bomb site.
Oh.
Shox has to stay alive here. That HE grenade will not be the end of him. Frags continue. Zen, it's not ready for Zywoo. Look at the kill feed there.
Yeah, they knew he was there. He just didn't. Yeah, he didn't pay attention. Zywoo's still right there at sandbags. Couldn't have gone back to the side, and also, it was his teammate that he got the kill on. Oh, this is not a fun round to look back on. Of course, great so far from FPX overall, but you know this close trade from Shox, he's still alive. Teammate in the back, so it won't serve as much of a bait. I think they might clear him still. Yeah.
Well, there's a trade frag and a bomb, which means the 2 rotations. The second man rotating is coming. Sticker with 20 HP. Oh, a bit less now. Trying to get ahead of the expectation, but Masuta will deny him.
What a brave move. That was just a series of weird interactions. Really bad spray from both sides. Over on B, Shocks and Farley really just trying to kind of disengage while also putting some bullets down range, and then the interaction on the A side as well. But yeah, that's the nature of the map sometimes too.
Yeah.
No ops here for either side. I don't think they had the option either though.
Changing approach now at the early rounds from FPX. Looks like still have some presence towards A. So we eat some of the Molotov. That's hurt by Maiden. There are some shenanigans. Kyojin being peeked in the meantime. So there's presence from FPX all across the map, but you can see that there's a big focus from the CTs on both the bomb sites. We've got Farley creeping out, and Zen's a bit too far behind him to even try and trade frag that. Grenade will force Masuta from the angle. Now, how do Vitality respond to all of this? Because there's action everywhere. Masuta pops out from B, and now the push is on. Shocks will start off well, though. Emmy's got the bomb, he has to be careful, but the frags are all going the way of Vitality for the most part. Crouch peek from Shocks is good enough. Vitality may just stabilize here on their CT side.
Such a high percentage of raw duels coming out. Not too many refrag opportunities, just 50-50s all across the map. I think, you know, for FPX, it makes sense. You want these. And if you're Vitality, I think you're just lucky to have such good players to win them. But overall, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for FPX to get back into these rounds, but Vitality are edging out more and more duels. Masuta had his best map on record on Vitality versus Astralis on this map a few months ago.
So he may be instrumental in this series, or in this map rather. 8-4. Very early here on Vertigo, but he is leading the kill feed, the scoreboard.
He was a champ over on Dust too as well. Super strong series overall. And here he could farm 500 ADR if he's good enough.
Doesn't seem so on this occasion. Shockster will hold the area down. He's got support Molotovs from his teammates as well. And FPX will head elsewhere. Four pistols on deck. Preemptive utility from Vitality. Looking and willing to duel at range. We have a double peek from them. Look at a three-man swing here. I like the attempts. Marks, it seems it'll go the way of Zywoo. Okay. Getting some kills on the board.
Listen, we'll remember that when he gets 15 kills and say half of them were eco frags.
Yeah.
I don't think, even though he's had some bad maps this year, which they stand out like sore thumbs, even though overall his rating has been very good. I don't think he's had 2 bad maps in a row. So I don't think he's had a whole series of bad maps. Just the odd, you know, random low kill game for some reason. So I guess that was the last map, but they still won, which is obviously more important. I have my own question about Zywoo and what his problem is with Inferno, but wow, this is crazy. He's flying down. He had the cape on for that.
He really did. That is a great way to start things off. Avoids a flashbang and made it hard to avoid Zywoo looking for his third kill. So close.
Oh my God.
I don't know how far he made that one happen.
Crazy.
It's actually doable for FPX 2 versus 3. We have a very proactive CT team though. Things go from bad to worse. Masuta delivering a multi-frag. 11 for 5 now. Vitality with 4 rounds in a row on their CT side of Vertigo. They've put the FPX economy in the bin once again.
Yeah, Zywoo had his cape on and rollerblades. Flew down there. Like, how did he find this timing? Emmy was thinking, I'm way ahead. Emmy thought he was good. He was going to kill a guy coming down the ramp. Maybe the Opera on Crane Peak. He was about to do something huge for the team. Meanwhile, Zywoo had other plans. And a touch more awareness. Deagles here for most of the players on FPX as they spread the map. And again, this might be a bit of a farm.
Yeah, these rounds are looking pretty dry, these pistol Kevlar rounds.
They look more winnable from the CT perspective. Wow. Double grenades to soften up the targets. No head armor though. Their heads will pop like grapes to any gun.
Lots of area control from Vitality. These pieces of utility. And then it's just warm-up practice, essentially. And then there were 3. And they're warming up Zaiwu as well, which is not what you want to do. Suddenly he is 12 for 4. A lot of eco frags in that.
Oh yeah, so many. So many. But it's like first set, okay? He said if I don't get the... Why do you go for eco frags for? He said, if I don't get the eco frags, my team will lose the round, so... Maybe that's the same. But him and Masuda are tanks. Yeah, always comfortable with the rifle. Here they don't upgrade purely because they didn't lose any guns, so we don't know if the op is ever going to come out. Not that you need it. I think it's a very nice map to op on, though, CT side.
Yeah, there are some juicy angles. Have a look at Vitality. Complete control of mid, and they're going to just keep on going. Masuda already above the ladder. Zen, though, makes no assumptions. Farley's looking for it. Is this a false sense of security? Oh, my God.
He's a sharpshooter, man, an assassin, Masuda.
Well, there we go. Now, I suppose that would benefit the FPX team. They know what they allowed Vitality to take, and they will punish them for it. Now things start to turn around. Zaiwu getting deleted. Those are big fraggers at the present, but Apex now will pick up the slack. A 2-man spray down for him. A great response. Vitality extremely aggressive in this round.
These kills can barely be analyzed, the amount of consistent, aggressive pushes that are coming out. But it's almost always the right move for Vitality to answer back. A couple of very key trades. Zen has been great. Madden was great to take out Zaiwu on a unfavorable angle. And Shox' duel could mean the world. Stiko will win this one. Lurking a lot here on T side. Apex moves into Generator. Bomb comes up first. And Stiko thinks he's going to catch the timing, but he's incorrect about this. And now the round changes completely.
Zen is a mile away from where Stiko was.
Yeah, they tried to slow down there, but Stiko wanted to put the nades down before Apex got in the site. They didn't know where he was. He's got an HE for the bomb, but, I mean, surely Zen has odds here. There's not going to be an easy way for Apex to just get some clean headshot. He's got to find the timing and take some kind of push. Oh, he saw a shoulder.
I think Zen's realized as well, but he has to commit to the bomb plant before Apex can just charge him. He's holding the gun out. Now Apex can dance. 5 seconds, he has to plant the bomb or frag Apex. And then he goes. Zen now being careful. He has half a chance. They really needed that round, and he does deliver.
I think Apex just played that incorrectly because he can do either play. He could rush the plant for the 5 seconds or, not peek at all. But, I mean, in that situation, he pushed out and then waited. So he didn't really take a favorable position when he pushed out to give himself room for that easy headshot. I think he was ramming the plant there. As you mentioned, no time to fake it would have made the most sense for him, considering his HP.
His response earlier on was very impressive. The 2 kills on the ramp to keep it competitive. AWP spotted towards the B bomb site. This boost was promising, or looks promising at least. That HE grenade, though, almost, but not quite. Huge fights across the map from round to round.
Yeah, that was a big round from Apex, apart from, losing the 1v1. Honestly, FPX got so many key engagements, individual duels, Zen refragging Masuda, Zaiwu dying to Madden. Oh, you thought they were going to win for sure, but it was so close the whole time. And again, more pressure comes down the ramp from the CT side. And this is how people are fighting these days, all the way down, making sure you can't get into these spots where you line up grenades and put down the spams up here. And I think at this point, Vitality have met their quota. They've done lots of damage and got a kill. Timing?
Oh, not against Zaiwu. Not against Zaiwu. Did he see a shadow? I'm not sure, but something gave the game away there.
Nate goes through the window.
5 versus 3 now. Vitality threatening to get a solid score on their CT side of Vertigo. Maybe the best chances to win this series have come and gone for FPX, but time will tell. Zaiwu finally traded. 16 for 6 now. Hot in this game. Zen going for the reload. Emmy trying to cover. Nothing crazy happening just yet. Smokes up, but for how long? Zen with his knife out. Again, it just keep getting caught. Repositioning. Putting them in worse situations, FPX. Like Stiko on the B bomb site. Thought he had more space than he did, and the same thing happens here over towards A.
But this time they don't convert, despite that. 2 times the round for Vitality. Zaiwu looking very comfortable. Ecos are not on the A ramp. And this is the thing, I think the way the meta has been developing, where there are less spams through smokes and the diffuses, because CTs have started to try to fight Ts down the ramp so that they don't get into post-plant situations that are like 4v4 where anyone can dive the plant, which I think does a favor to the meta because it's obviously annoying to watch for everybody and probably even worse to play when people are just diving and diffusing in smokes. But this means that the Ts now have to fight harder for A ramp control. And right now, Vitality are winning those duels most of the time. If it had been popped up, it would have been done a bit more.
The chain of grenades continues from Vitality, bit by bit. Fourth player making their way over towards A. It's been no presence really from FPX anywhere across the map. Looking to storm A with 5 players. Will there be a flashbang? Well, that's a great way to start things off. Continuation spray from Maiden, and they collapse from either side. Shock's now trying to reposition. Can't fire off another one, leaving Kyojin 1 versus 3. Rotating in from the B bomb site. Now, there's a lack of money for Zaiwu and Masuta. If Kyojin loses this rifle, then that will be quite the situation, or quite the opportunity for FunPlus Phoenix to try and build something on this T side. You can see Kyojin moving away now, but there will still be trouble. Well, he could drop 2, I suppose.
Quite a boring life here as a B-side player some games. Get 1 or 2 B-side hits on Vertigo, the rest go towards A. And the rest of the game plan is pretending you're going to hit B more often. But here, yeah, this is the obvious power of actually getting into this corner sandbag position on the ramp, getting this control, being able to throw all of your execute smokes, being able to peek short freely, this kind of thing. Allowing for the crush to come in is good. I mean, overall the strategy was cool because they didn't just go for a full execute. They just decided to pinch it with a very high tempo together on the short shelf and A ramp a lot. It's kind of refreshing to see that. You don't see that often. But instantly we go into the 2-op adjustments. They go from the mini boss to the final boss. As if FPX try to establish on A ramp again.
Oh. Ooh. Zaiwu has a lot of rifle support. They try to target him with the numbers. Vitality might just be ready for it, as we can see the swing as well, and the trade frags if necessary, but they're not. 5v2. Falling back as they reload now. He finds 2 Zen. He's made the round competitive, carrying the bomb. They didn't have the angle to see it necessarily on the radar.
Yeah, they actually can't afford these losses. But more than that, it looks like the round is possible now for Zen. The second op is not something they maybe expect. I don't know if Masuda's made noise with this already.
Apex with a really tight angle. It's almost done the job there. Is the bomb spotted once again? Quick bomb plant being made. Apex may have just done enough. Trying to escape both low now. Stico 1v3 with the AWP. Spots the elevation. I can't see him doing this one. Hold on a second though. That's the flank eliminated. We've got a rotation now as the smoke is baited. Another one flying in. Oh my god, he's got cover as well.
On for it.
Making his way over. Did you see him? Look, he realizes what could be happening here. Oh, he just can't get around the corner in time. He was aware that he understood what could be possible. Had looked at Apex's direction, didn't see anything. Again, the margins come through for Vitality.
That you got to give credit to Apex. I think a lot of players would have said, oh, I'm just going to keep walking out. Hopefully he makes a huge mistake. But Apex knows that this round is about to get away from them if he doesn't try to spam through it and catch Stico. And Stico's so low, he can't even survive 1 bullet. 6 HP, almost pulls out the 1v3. A really nice attempt. Very fortunate there for Vitality. That could have been 6-9 here. And Vitality also just indulged in the 2-op setup. Now can only afford 1. Wouldn't have been able to afford any if they lost that round. That could have been a difference maker right there. But actually, just to pair with that, a great push in that last round. That aggressive CT setup, and Kyoto's doing work now. So much ADR between him and Apex already.
Yeah, really coming into their own in this final map of the series. Well then, Farley's patience has paid off in a 3 versus 2. Apex has lost the A bomb site. And that means Vitality will start to push from B.
Seen that push before.
Now, there is time for FPX, and there are sound cues for them as well. Vitality getting some upgrades.
Stico's walking back towards B. They're leaving the site. CTs are guessing, holding for flanks. It's been one late round B. It's not enough info to make a call for sure, but this is, 4 blind mice.
Yeah, Stico, his read of the game has been pretty nasty from round to round. And again, he just heard them picking up the weapons and so on. He knows they went deep enough to see that no one was towards the B bomb site, hence they go A, hence FPX go B. So we've got a 2 versus 2 situation. Vitality here already. Masuta looking for something. Oh, I thought he was going off the side there, but of course there is a rail. Masuta and Shox now. They have a kit and 1 flash. Both rifles in hand. Stick and Farley line wait. AWP is out. And that clock is ticking. Shox has to be the one to defuse the bomb. There's the flash, but Farley can re-aggress quite easily. They're lining up for him. They just has to stay alive for a second. Shox with a tight shot, but where is Stico? Just needs to wait until it's too late. The Crab Walker's here to kill for Shox, but there's no time to defuse the bomb. And the last round of the first half will go the way of FunPlus Phoenix. 6-9 of Vitality, all to play for, especially with the pistol round. That comes after the break. Well then, I don't know what to expect in this series. I don't know how strong a position Vitality might be in. So many questions to be answered in this half. And again, the pistol's key because it could be 9-9, it could be 12-6. Those are very common score lines after the first 3 rounds. With a score such as this, what are your expectations?
Yeah, this is. I understand where you're coming from, just because FPX could have won it feels like they could have. Both teams could. I feel like they were almost a better team in those first 2 maps. Vitality, by the end of it, changed the story a bit. They've woken up. Now they look stronger than ever, and Zai's not having a bad map here, so I don't know. Does this only get worse? Look at the adjustments. Oh my god, pistol kills are worth their weight in gold. 1, let alone 3.
Yeah, right. Vitality looking very good for this pistol.
Oh, he's just feeling too sharp right now, man.
I know.
The juices are flowing.
That's the problem with the kills. Yeah, there's so many eco kills, but it's Phil just sharpening that tool, and what a tool he is in a positive fashion. In a positive fashion.
Yeah.
He's an instrument of death.
Right.
21 for 9.
Yeah, he's the whole shed. He knows how to do everything. That is crazy. The adjustments are just beautiful. Third player has no idea, but the fourth, no excuse. The round, and I think in the other halves we saw the losing team win the pistol, make it more competitive, but now the winning team wins the pistol. And this is where you start making heinous buying decisions.
I need to see some more steam from FunPlus Phoenix because, I mean, you know, two halves can be very different, but it does feel like Vitality are much stronger now. And again, Zai's just been waiting to power up in this last map of the series. Maybe some figuring out to do on some of the other maps we've seen today, but right now Vertigo has them with a good look. Vitality.
Caffeine kicked in.
Starting to rotate away from the A-bomb site. Of course, there are plenty of sound cues for the CT side.
Yeah, you can't really running rotate, which is interesting. The CTs are respecting that it might be some kind of a bait up until this point. Zen gets a kill on the other side of the map. The CTs have made their way over, but they're in rotator spots, and Shox is here to cause problems at mid.
Oh my god, that flick from Emmy again with the impact frags. Maiden now 1v2. He's got to land his kill quickly before they collapse on him. They'll do exactly that. Man, a really nice shot from Emmy, but to no avail. Vitality win the consecutive, and we are looking at that 12-6 scoreline for FPX to really start the half, which is not good for them.
In other situations, 3 kills is great, but in this situation, they needed the round, and there is this weird expectation these days that you can actually win the round with just Eagles on the CT side of certain maps, and since they don't get it, the lead becomes 5. Another pistol round ensues. 3 Deagles in total here for FPX. They'll run it back.
That MAC-10 has been such a problem for FunPlus Phoenix. Shox was instrumental with it on Inferno, and it rears its ugly head once again, this time in the hands of Apex. Not as effective on this occasion, but does not pose much of a threat at present.
They've got him zoned a little bit. Okay, Kyoji's going to see this. He's aware of both kills, though. And Emmy alone with the Deagle bomb. Bomb is left underneath, it looks like. Chance to fight. 2 coming for him. Oh, it's a dummy gun, though. All the bullets are gone.
And there is that scoreline. This is where the game really begins. Vitality in a very strong position. If they win the first buy rounds, then that's FPX straight back to Eco. So just to give you an idea of how bad a situation FunPlus Phoenix are in, the implications of losing this round are severe.
Yeah, it can be understated. I mean, the mental effect, too, of like thinking we already lost, or the pressure that's on them to just win this, just to get on the hike. The long hike back to 16 it can be enough to break most men.
Yeah, losing both pistols will have to be done the hard way. So we're ready to frag as well. Vitality being careful, not wanting to squander this opportunity. And again, it is Zaiwu, 23 kills now. Good chance for a 30 bomb. So many targets though down the ramp, and Emmy will be finding Kyojin. That's a huge frag. 4v4 as Vitality continue to poke and prod. AKs versus silenced M4s. That is not ideal for FunPlus Phoenix, so they will need an exceptional performance.
He's still up there.
Was he spotted, I wonder? Oh. Emmy's got to be real careful here. Landing a headshot. 45 seconds on the clock. No one towards B or mid for Vitality. The whole squad is here, still with 2 Molotovs. Just 1 smoke grenade for a potential bomb plant. And those can be problematic on the A-bomb sites, excuse me. See Zen make his way over now. 6 players around A. Stico alone on B. Farley moving back a little bit, but there's a trade from Shox. Masuta now finds him. He's still on the boxes, and the AKs just frag out on the A bomb site. The worst is happening for FunPlus Phoenix. I don't know that they recover from this.
I think he pushed a bit too early into the short shelf before his teammate got comfy in the site. And of course, any of those 1 duels could have brought it back, but none come this time. Stico 1v2. He's been pretty smart in the clutch, but so have Vitality. And they're split up in good positions. He's got an idea of where they might be. Will the trade come through? Won't even need it. Shock's only showing half his face. Can't be targeted. 13-6, and it's potentially back to pistols here for FPX unless they want to go for the MP9 Circus. I don't know. Are they going to try it? Half investment comes out.
With the form that Vitality have been of late, you can see how much it means to Apex here.
Right.
Every round so far. And this is a round they need to build statistics on. This is, sorry, a map. This is a map they need to build statistics on, and one that they don't have many recorded maps of late. So this is pretty big for them. I think they need this. FunPlus Phoenix lost a stressful series yesterday, and they're on the cusp of doing the same today. Big opportunities on that second map, but again, so many narrow victories for Vitality. It's rare you see so many go in favor of one team, and that was just for them to stay alive, and they've done more than that here. Moving towards a 14th round now. 4 men on the ramp for Vitality.
Oh, we're going to get maybe this potential eco ace, anti-eco ace here for Zai, who's already got 4. Just been cleaning up so damn hard. Kyojin will find a little at the end. 14-6, and yeah, it's unfortunately the writing on the wall made it seem like after the second pistol that Vitality were going to be, close to a very easy finish, and it feels like that's starting to become a reality. Two ops is the adjustment here for FPX, a final stand after a half bye to defend against match point. Stico and Farley, I don't know if they're splitting up on sites. Looks like yes, Stico's going to take his talent over to B. Vitality will continue to work the map and then A default.
Early aggression towards A. And now we wait for the utility. Oh dear. Nowhere to stand, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run for FunPlus Phoenix. Backs it to the wall just like Maiden. Trying to make a play here, but he gets trade fragged, and it goes from bad to worse here for FunPlus Phoenix. AWP deleted, man advantage retained by Vitality. See the bomb not committed to the A bomb site just yet, but it's on the way to join Zaiwu in the hands of Kyojin. Shock's having a look elsewhere, seeing what's going on. Showing some presence towards the B bomb site. He is the MAC-10 man, but with an AK on this occasion, i.e. he's the guy going to see what's what. They've got time to play with Vitality, and minutes on the clock here, and it will indeed weaken the defenses towards the A bomb site.
Somehow it's been almost a more impactful T side than it was CT. For Zaiwu looking for 30 at this point.
Taking the bull by the horns.
And by the balls.
What did you do with those?
just the saying. There's a chance here for a freebie for Stico if they want to walk in. But, okay, we got a generator smoke potentially here to come in. The flash comes out. And, yeah, okay, there is an open line. They look for it. Stico even gets some further damage in. The smoke comes in late. There's a gap on the left side. Zaiwu can go back into this perfect post-plant position. He leaves the bomb to get threatened, and they finally actually come through with the retake. Great damage from Stico. He made that USP kill possible by putting the first shot in through double. And so they live another day.
Yeah, but they, man, it's a long road back. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Especially with...
They've done it before. We both wrote them off in the first half of
that's
Dust 2.
True. You're right.
I think they're in a worse... Well, they are in a worse situation now.
It's a little bit worse.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit less clear who's better on the map. Well, now it's not. I don't know. We're looking for something here.
Yeah. They have to show us something. They have half the score of their opponent, and their opponent's 2 rounds away from the match.
I just don't get it. I'm watching Zaiwu, and these kills are just coming so easily, like everywhere. It's just, he think he's had 3 or 4 multi-frag rounds in a row.
29 kills now for Zaiwu. Initial exchange, spray on the ramp, and Emmy, he just has nowhere to stand.
That's the trouble. The meta leans this way, but the thing is that FPX are doing a worse job of fighting back through the ramp in their defaults, and Vitality are showing them the value of spamming down these positions more thoroughly. They're way more targeted to Emmy in that same spot.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Vitality maybe with more depth.
This is to compromise Tico's specific position. So, they see him, but he gets away in time and shocks. He's right there on the other side.
Okay, I think we know who the better team is on Vertigo. Vitality's depth of knowledge just seems to go a lot deeper than FPX at the moment. So Vertigo maybe the master stroke, the ace in the hole for Vitality. After a very difficult game, they head towards match point. Faults. Oh dear. Nothing going the way of FPX now. It's a shame a great series ends this way for FPX, but again, if you're a fan of Vitality, this is fantastic. You want to see strength from them. They need to turn their results around. Zywoo is fragging out again.
Yeah, I mean, for one way or another, it creates an interesting narrative. And for Vitality, the wider the score, the discrepancy, the more interesting it is for their next match. More data for them in the tournament, and of course, high expectations for them here at the EU RMR. The same can be said for FPX coming into the event with so many big wins versus Big, versus G2. Close loss versus NiP yesterday. Looks like they literally could have beaten Vitality today if a few more things went their way. So they can kind of hang their heads high, but at the same time, I'm sure they'll be disappointed.
Emmy dies again. Well, Zen doing what he can, but can he get... Oh my god, okay, maybe it's not over just yet. The Desert Eagle shots, the peaks are perfect for Zen. They go into his crosshair. The bomb's lost as well. Shock's here to trade 1 versus 4 made 3. A lot happening, but again, even if they win this round, it's just the one round, and they've got so many more to collect. There's a full buy in the hole if Vitality lose this. So it's not really even breathing space for FPX. They're on life support.
Gasping for air. That was nice. The way Zen, he julienned those angles at mid. Like a slap chop.
I have a slap chop.
You do?
My friend bought it for me for my birthday. One slap salad.
It's a good friend.
25 seconds on the clock. Shocks could just get some more kills here. Farley and Maiden, the last two players, have $0 combined. So they have to stay alive here. Shocks could even go for the fake plant. Farley will pick up the AK-47. 2 players survive for FunPlus Phoenix. They need 7 more rounds in a row. And the full buy comes through for Vitality. The buy will likely be superior. Emmy and Zen have got about 3,200 apiece.
Oof.
Nice highlight in a very difficult game.
Yeah, there's no strategic depth to it, just a great show of mechanical ability there for Zen to buy him a little lifeline. He throws at his team a floaty. But the ocean is vast.
Not today. Maybe not today is the story on Vertigo for FunPlus Phoenix. If this is the end, there'll be a lot for them to learn and come back stronger. Vitality just able to hold on Inferno.
This is the epitome of Vertigo right here. That is verticality 101. This
like
duel.
Watching Russian TikTok on someone standing on the end of a building.
Stiko with, I'm going to assume, a great shot. Through a wall, into a head. Emmy up here on the short shelf. He's lived into the mid-round now officially, which is great. And, no way.
Oh, my God.
That's how we touch on 30. Zywoo jumping up and down with his hand over his face.
Is there no mercy? Maybe there is.
Yeah, I guess there is a god.
I suppose there is. Well then, FunPlus Phoenix make it to 9. There's no bomb plant for Vitality, and they start to be a little short on money. They could consider forcing something up here, depending on how many buys they calculate they'll have in this half, should they lose every round. Otherwise, they can go for a half buy. That turned around quickly. But how long until we start to believe? 13 rounds?
I'm starting to feel it a bit, but yeah, it might be a bit too soon. they get
Checking
10,
a
they
corpse
survive the
for a
eco, we'll
pulse.
talk.
I think we're still in the checking a corpse for a pulse mode.
Yes, I think that's fair. That's totally reasonable.
But maybe momentum in their favor will certainly help. Emmy's had some rounds to learn where not to stand, which is quite a few places on the ramp.
Yeah.
So there's always the opportunity that he could change his approach in the buy round to come if they get that far. There's no guarantee they win this round.
I think he recognizes at least the importance of like trying to maintain some of this presence down the ramp. But yeah, Vitality obviously showing their experience, been very good at stopping them here, and they win another round in this position. A lot of thought given to this potentially eco round. It's converted. That's potentially being converted now. I don't know if there's no armor on shocks. That gun should maybe change hands.
He did throw it on the floor, so there was some discussion, but he has ended up with it again.
And the walk back is huge. It's the correct mid-round, of course, from what we see on the mini-map. Stiko holding flank from the spawn, and he'll adjust his... Oh no, he misses that duel.
Oh my god.
Takes one early. If he waited, he could have stalked 3 players. 2 CTs now running up. Some damage can make a difference, an impact.
Maiden needs 2, and he gets exactly what he's looking for. Kyojin with 16 HP. They're really just holding on by the bare minimum FunPlus Phoenix at the moment.
Oh.
The margin's going their way late on Vertigo. But even in an eco round from Vitality, they look superior.
Scary, especially this A ramp, because this is always going to be a threat that they have to deal with, and there's not really much room to deal with it any other way. You can't just say, I'm going to push B this round, because on Vertigo, there's a million ways to catch a flank, so it's a bit scary to say you're going to go all the way through. They might want to throw that in every once in a while. So we'll see. If Vitality go back to the A ramp and they fight for it, they get control of it, it's going to be scary. Emmy again fighting, and I think he recognizes it's important to be down here. He sees one in the corner. He ends up getting a kill with the assistance of Madden, actually. Masuda trades one, knows one's in the back, takes Madden down as well. And now they get some positional compensation. Quick up the short shell. Farley's going to make his position known with this smoke grenade. Let's try to slow things down, but again, this is the critical territory for the T's to get to.
And Vitality just seem more experienced here, despite what the official records show. Of course, it doesn't include all the scrims and work they've been doing offline, and we can see that. The attention to detail, the angles, the multi-peaks, the abuse of FPX towards the A bomb site, especially Emmy. Still have 2 Molotovs, Vitality. See more being deployed now as they look to compromise the positions for FPX. That smoke may not be respected, we'll have to see. So with some pre-fire in the meantime, 40 seconds on the clock, and Vitality starting to become light on grenades. They are pushing in as well, and they're just winning the duels. 4 versus 2. Now it's down to Farley. He's got so much to work to do here. Smoke is up. That actually limits the trade frag situation. Gives him a chance, but Masuda will take that away. 16-10. Vitality destroy FunPlus Phoenix on Vertigo.
That was a clinic. Very nice at the end. I really like that we have that round because it was starting to putter out and it felt like FPX were getting back into it. But then Vitality showed us they were the better team this map. And overall in the series, there were a lot of great spots there for FPX for sure. But on Vertigo, it didn't feel like they had a chance.
Yeah, it looks like they need more experience, and Vitality simply had more depth. So I think once it came down to that third map, the better team most certainly won. So congratulations to Vitality. And I'm not even sad to see to lose some points on that one, because it was a really good game, and you know we can see that Vitality were the better team. Cena does think I'm just diffusing before I throw to them to get wrecked, but there we go. That was a really solid play from Vitality. And that is enough from us for now. Over to a possibly very happy Freya.
A very happy Freya, indeed. My predictions, our predictions, Maui, were at least correct. Unlike Sema over there, maybe feeling a bit feels bad, man.
No, I just like how James kept saying, and Vitality, and Vitality, and Vitality. Just goes to show, you know, it's like how misleading things can be, because it has nothing to do with Vitality, it has everything to do with Zywoo. So if he'd have said, you know, and Zywoo wrecked them over and over again, and Zywoo won all of these insane freaking performance rounds, like then I would have been like, yep, fair, you're right. But he's like, no, and Vitality, it's like, Not quite. Not quite
Yeah, maybe
right.
a little asterisk.
I got to
if
give it
that
to
were-
Zywoo on this one, dude.
Yeah.
He had some insane rounds. Just freaking broke FPX.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think that FPX started to recover until later in the map, and by then it was too late.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time for Zywoo to be coming online in this series, but man, once he does, he's just an unstoppable force, and that's what we're used to seeing from Zywoo.
Yeah, this was FPX unable to take any space because Zywoo was just nailing them through every smoke, and there's some rhyme, there's some reason to it, and if there's anybody that could put it together to make what is random look possible, I mean, Zywoo, obviously, one of the people in the world that can do it.
Credit to Launders as well. He talked about conditioning there, mentioned Elige, how ramp gets played with smokes and how you put damage here so that you then force them to play from there, and then you spray them there, right? So it's kind of like Banana with the nade game, those sorts of things where you're conditioning your opponents to do certain things. I mean, clearly Zywoo has got that down pat.
And it's a little bit painful for the side of FPX because this was an incredible series. I think, to myself at least, FPX put up an incredible fight on those first two maps. It was a shame to be coming into that second half of Vertigo and maybe seeing the flares of what we saw yesterday versus NIP in terms of FPX having a bit of a slow start and then Vitality getting too many of those rounds for them to really come back.
I did just say that as well, like I was like, well, here they are again, just making life hard for themselves.
Yes.
Zywoo, but also let's just give up a bunch of rounds and then fight and then start to come online and then start to make plays and then, but by then again, it's just too late. I mean, the joke was that it's a Sisyphean task for FPX. Every time they start getting close, the boulder rolls back downhill at the end of the half, boulder rolls back down the hill, and then they get to push the boulder back up again. They're about to win, and then the boulder crushes them and rolls back down the hill, and we get to start all over again. So it's still out there for FPX. They still have a lot of work to do.
I think that there is a point to be made, though. FPX aren't down and out of the competition just yet. They will be fighting for the 9th to 12th place decider spots, and those are incredibly important, gentlemen. 500 points will be going to that 12th place, 600 for 11th, 700 for the 10th, and 100 more at 800 for that 9th place spot. And that is incredibly important going towards the future major.
That's a big difference.
Worth pointing out real quick, just like, it's 1,600 for first place,
Yes.
250 for last.
Yeah.
So it's like you get, 800-900 points, you're halfway there. I mean, that's a solid return for the tournament.
It's a huge bonus, and the thing is that the way that Valve consolidated the points from the whole previous year was by just saying, okay, the top tier of teams have 600, the middle tier has 300, and if you got pretty much anything, you would have 100. So getting 1,800 points means you're well in first place, and like you said, Freya, even coming in, I guess, 9th place is still pretty much as good as having a really good 2020.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. And of course, those games will be happening on our B stream on Tuesday as well. So lots more of FunPlus Phoenix to be coming your way. And maybe it's a point to ask you guys, do you see FunPlus Phoenix being able to sort of push it to the limits of where they find themselves now in terms of coming out of that lower bracket, maximum placing being 9th? Do you think that they'll be able to push it to that distance for the squad?
I think it depends on the matchups that they get. If they play someone like Complexity, who we're going to be seeing come up next, and we'll preview that game when it comes, of course, then it might be a little tough for them. But if they play a team like, say, Double Pony, then I think they could do it. I think they can push that team to the limit. So it really... I feel like it's going to be a bloodbath down there because even though it just feels like seeding games and they don't matter, these teams know how important these RMR points actually are.
Yeah.
Because getting to the major versus not getting to the major, it's the most important tournament in 2 years for CSGO. They all are going to fight till their their last breaths.
Yeah, no, they really are indeed. And of course, Vitality will be continuing on the train of the gauntlet of that lower bracket as well. Samla, you were saying you feel like it was just Zywoo being a difference maker in that last map. Are there any other kind of flares for brilliance for Vitality?
The sad thing about Vertigo is that it is still a ramp simulator. And so when you have the best player in the game who is playing the spot that you need to keep going to on that map that only revolves around that one point on the map, it's bad news bears. And I don't mean the NA team. I mean, it just really sucks. Like, it's just really, like, do we have to go here? Yes. No. So it's, I really do feel like Zywoo, credit where credit's due, Zywoo is inhuman. That kind of performance, I mean, the pistol round on like, he's just so good at hitting all of these crazy shots and at not getting caught off guard. You and I were freaking out when he did that 180. He's looking towards the ramp on A side. He's like, actually, no, I'm going to turn back. Oh, I'll shoot you in the face real quick. Now I'll go back to defending. You're like, what is this? He never gets caught off guard. So yeah, no, credit where credit's due. Zywoo is just inhuman, but it's a tough break for FPX.
Is the human fly swatter. Like, anytime he sees somebody, he's just like, get out of my way. Just get the hell out of here. So entertaining.
I mean, I really do enjoy watching Zywoo play. I just wish that I hadn't, bet on FPX on that one, right? I think I would have been a little bit less invested in the outcome.
Yeah, a bit feels bad, man, for Semma's prediction points, but it's not feels bad. up
Twice
here.
now,
Because,
FPX, come on, twice now.
We've got Apex. Maybe you can have a few words with them, Stemler, for ruining your prediction. But we do have Apex on the line for the winners interview. First of all, huge congratulations to yourself, Apex man.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. I do want to go back to the first map that we saw with Dust 2. Obviously, your pick coming into this series. We were maybe questioning why FPX kind of left it in for you guys to pick. So what do you feel like the issues were for you on that first map of the series?